Okay. Okay. Stop, bro. Oh, bro. I can't, bro. I'm like anticipating it, bro. Okay. I'm good. I'm good.
God, shit really went down. Oh my god. I swear, like, I went to go,
I must be fucking blasted right now, bro. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I must be like much higher than I think I am.
dude, you're so fucking high. Yeah, but what I was gonna say is, like, I went into, because I went fishing, today, and I, went to go, like, to the bathroom, and I was just, like, checking the Zulu server, because, I remember Eddie said you responded to that one, like, uh, guy, um, and then I just, like, saw
The fuck?
them still talking about
Ace?
the drama,
Yeah, Mini 8.
and huh?
You talking about Mini 8?
Yeah, Mini 8. And then, like, I saw them still talking about the drama, and they were talking about me, and I just kind of felt that, like, little panic in my stomach where it's like, oh my god, I hate this kind of, like, hate this kind of talk. But,
What do you mean, bro? Like you were just telling me the other day, you're like, bro, I'm such a drama queen.
no, like, dude, like, I used to be a drama queen. Not that I still am, but, like, I
Little
noticed
heavy.
as
Slightly
of
above that.
recent, like I started to feel a little sinkhole in my chest when I see this kind of shit because I notice that I'm like maturing on it so rapidly. Like I'm
It's just like
realizing.
you're seeing like I don't know, you're a G server, bro, and just being afforded like all this intellectualism, right? You know?
Yeah, I think it's the culture shock now. Like they all come in, and then
Yeah.
like when Nye came in, I remember like he was trying to psychoanalyze me, and he was like saying that he was flirting with me, so I would like show my emotions and shit. And I was just like, dude, it doesn't work on me anymore. And I felt like a tin man. Like I
What?
was just like,
Did he say that?
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
bro.
you can look
He
up,
was
you can search up
flirting with him,
flirting.
bro. Trying to get in his. He's trying to
Bro,
get in his
So
you
why
pants.
is
weren't
Nye
scared
always
of
saying some weird shit to you, bro?
bro.
Because like
I'm
he
so
wants
so
to
to you, bro.
he he like masturbates to his own amusement. Like he's creepy and weird, and he hasn't like he hasn't developed like he hasn't developed past the playground. Like he talks to people like it's a drama. I mean, Nye is a drama queen. Like he has admitted that himself that he loves drama and he loves like psychoanalyzing people. And I I kind of there was something like as much as I was gonna sinkhole about it, I was like, okay, but this is like important to look at, right? Like for the sake of like understanding rationalism a bit more, because I was looking at it from afar because now it
Like
feels like brothers.
I hate it, bro. Like I don't know if you've seen it, bro. Like whenever you bring up like I don't know, like the history or whatever as like examples of rationalism, like the things people have done or whatever, Zulu or like you're saying like the people he's chose to be around or whatever. I always feel that sinkhole feeling. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear this shit. Like I don't fucking care.
I don't know. I think it's just that you feel sick about it. It's just like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't. Ugh.
I
Like I
feel
heard that
sick
shit
about
like
it.
at the beginning, like when we were doing the review of the Zulu
Mhm.
debate. At the beginning, you kept saying like it's just the people who chose to like be around or whatever. I just like I felt it like every time you said that, I was like, bro, come on.
Queasiness.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel it more now, but I don't think it's because I'm wrong. It's just because that's just the nature of what we're talking about. It's just a very like a lot of examples of rationalism are just extremely like queasy
I don't know.
inducing.
Just think about like I don't know. Maybe it's like think about what the like strength of your arguments used to be, right? And like now the strength of the arguments you now have like available to you. You know what I mean?
In a
And it's like
sense,
maybe there was a lot more like defaulting to like psychoanalysis and like like that was like, I don't know, that was like the norm, I guess, right before. But I don't know. I was never on that. Remember we talked about that.
yeah, I yeah, like I think the trouble is that those are the people I was around. So the way that I like they're kind of like a foil for me. Like I get to see the progress through the fact that like everybody else has just been like left in the dust and they're still
Yeah.
Well,
falling prey to these
well,
issues. Like
G, weren't you the one that like fleshed out whatever Stratino was saying like in the beginning, and you were like, oh yeah, like you're trying to say it's like a rationalist cult, is what you're trying to say.
I
Like,
don't know
weren't
what you're
I remember it was like I was trying to get at the issue of there being like a rationalist cult
right?
that was forming, and then I think G kind of started to flush it out, and he was pointing to the same stuff, but I didn't have like the maturity to
Mm,
really get at it at the time.
I
But
don't
I
know.
think
You
yeah.
see, like I feel like I was gonna say something, and I was gonna say like I feel like some people that are coming in here like are like, man, not like the eco psych stuff, you know, like it's like not so many people are like down with it. You know what I mean? We're kind of
Mhm,
niche, like in our little place here. But
mhm.
I'm just like, like, bro, I used to be the only one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just kept, I just kept being like a radical about it, and then a bunch of people just decided to like, uh, look into it with me. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people joined yesterday because of the drama, I think.
Yeah. So I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
like I'm pretty optimistic, bro, about
I
that.
am too.
And
I'm
also
pretty
probably the
optimistic about
fact,
that because
probably
I
the
feel like
fact.
just I just keep doing what I'm doing, like how I'm just arguing with Boots, right? I feel like people
Yeah,
just people see that and they're like, "Yo, what is G smoking right now? What is G cooking?" Like
yeah. I mean, I saw that on Zulu server, and that's why I'm on your server, right?
yeah, like what is G cooking?
Dude,
Yeah,
it's like an undergrad in cooking watching like Gordon
yeah.
Ramsay or
Why
some
is
shit
this
make a burger.
guy
It's
called
like what
Like
is
G
he?
Marco
citing
Pierre
like
White.
survey and biotech stuff with echo psych like the perception of entities? What is that? Is that a smell, a food, a
It's
drink?
it's
But yeah,
so
that's literally how everybody came. Like they look at us like from the outside like a cult, but like it's like there's not even like a group like structure here. I just keep doing what I'm doing, and then everybody's just like oh yeah, I'm gonna like man like
I don't know. I mean,
I
like,
don't know. It's like I'm like setting a standard or whatever. I'm like
you know what I said? It feels like
it's
we're in
like
like the philosophy department, bro. We're just like cooking stuff up. We're like,
yeah, but like yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm like. I'm just like miles ahead. Like I don't know, some people are just like, bro, I gotta catch up. Like
I mean,
mm,
you know, like these religious people that often say like that the thing you're thinking about, that you treat it like a
and then just
thought,
look at Zulu
you
server.
know.
Like, what is Zulu doing?
Yeah, it's totally cult behavior. Like my child
dude,
can't
yeah,
that.
yeah. And
I
then they go to the Zulu server and they're like, oh yeah, this is not a cool at all, guys.
No, what is Zulu server doing? I mean, what is Zulu doing? What is
Nothing,
Zulu doing
nothing,
intellectually? You know?
yeah,
nothing.
Nothing.
I was gonna say, like, not only is it that, but like, how many people, like, how many intellectuals are talking in Zulu server?
I don't know, bro. I feel like it's like dead until like I find something to say about something.
Well, it's not only that, but like the only people who are talking there who aren't just like a bunch of like goobers, just like spread it, like they just post a bunch of soy jacks. I swear, it's only mods. It's like August, Leo, Nye, and Spooky. It's just those three guys, and they're just constantly talking. Like they're just constantly jerking Zulu off.
I mean, Spooky looks like he
I mean,
is
dude, fucking.
growing a little bit into like some intellectual shoes a little bit. You know, he's like into a
I
bigger size shoe. You know, he's like I'll look into this eco psych stuff, man. I'll look into this Gibson stuff, man. You know, you got me.
I'm
You got me
I'm
there.
skeptical of him. I want to be optimistic about him, but I feel like Spooky is just gonna
He's a
become
lot
like,
like he does a lot of flip flopping. You know.
yeah. No, I was gonna say like he's very bipolar when it comes to
Right.
interacting with people.
I don't know. I think he needs to
Um,
drop that causationism stuff. I just think he needs to drop it.
He was
Fucking,
aesthetic.
I don't know.
I haven't read into the causationism stuff. Like I
I haven't read it either, so I don't care.
It's not really it's not anything. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, we
I
need
would
a new
assume.
principle for all of these hypotheticals, and it's just like, why,
oh,
why?
is it that? Oh, that's really funny.
It's lit. Okay.
But
Oh
I
man.
something that like I've noticed with
Okay, I'm
Zulu.
gonna take a shit. Okay, I just wanted everybody to
Yeah,
All right.
know. I did, but
go take your fat dump.
we me and Stratino were supposed to like talk about something. We gotta talk, bro, because like last time we said we're gonna talk about it, we're like, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, and then we just fucking like bullshitted for like a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
hours.
okay.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we
don't
got
know.
something.
We
You
gotta
got some time. It's like 8 hours
okay.
discussing off topic.
Yeah, but like we need to like talk about something, bro.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll
But I need to
probably
take a
be
shit
here
first.
max 1 hour.
yeah, I I remember now.
Continue your thought or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there was an interesting post that I saw from Zulu that was they all chastise me for collabing with Tax Brass, and yet the instant I step outside of their leftist values, they turn on me. Loyalty matters. None of you are safe. And I
Oh,
was like,
loyalty.
yeah, no, that what spoke to me was loyalty matters. And I was
Could you ever imagine me saying some shit like that, or
yeah,
even
no.
being in that situation?
I
You
was
know?
think yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how Zulu talks about like the Vanguard and like the movement. And it is such a floating abstraction the way that he refers to the movement. Of course, like he talks about the Vanguard, and I've criticized the Vanguard as a concept before. I really don't like it. But the movement to him is like a centralized body
Well,
of things.
in his video, he did say that the radicals, the intellectuals, are the movement, and that's true enough. You know, like his video was pretty spot on that respect.
Um,
But it
In
seems
that
like he
respect,
doesn't live that out in reality.
yeah, no, I was gonna
yes.
say, I think that he doesn't like what he says in his videos. It's kind of like with Ayn Rand and Philosophy Who Needs It. Ayn Rand was spot on with Philosophy Who Needs It, but it did not pan out and everything that she did. I think that Zulu is the same way, where he's like, he understands that the real body of the movement is intellectuals, but I think he sees it as like a centralized cabal of intellectuals, where like, you know, they're all like kind of chaining up their followers by the neck and whipping them to like get over here.
I don't know.
Come.
I don't see it. I don't see it like in what he's talked about the whole thing about the movement, the radicalism stuff, all of that stuff. I don't see that.
Loyalty matters.
Yeah,
That's
I
Yeah,
mean
man.
that's a different like think about it like this. Like I just would never be in that situation. Like what could you even imagine like I'm I'm in this situation where I'm like talking like I don't know, like about politics. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Even
you're
like a
asking
little
file.
bit, bro. Even just like a little bit. Like it couldn't be me. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Yeah,
if Jeffrey Epstein helps you, you must be loyal to him.
it
You know.
it it's a certain kind of like I do.
It's a lot like a lot of the Randians, you know, like even Binswanger, he just shuts his mind off when it comes to politics, right?
Or anarchist.
Oh yeah,
I
any
know that.
random when you cite Israel.
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I
whenever
think
you see like a Randian talk about like the necessity of government, it's like all of their principles just get thrown completely out of the
Mhm.
window. So
but I
They
don't
speak
I
in a
don't
different way
see
too.
yeah.
I don't see how Zulu is any different. I think
Yeah,
that that is
it's
like
not
Yeah,
different.
that's my point. That's my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
It's like
like
that with agorism and shit. And ecological psychology too, actually.
I mean it can happen with anything. But I think that so far as I've seen, when that's
Especially when you're a rationalist.
And that's why like the
Mhm.
objectivist movement is also stagnating because all they fucking are talking about is like Israel or some shit. Like
We are the objectivist
they're
movement.
not fucking talking about like
Okay,
any
guys, let
serious.
Stratino talk, guys.
Yeah.
What I was gonna emphasize is that like the reason I point to Zulu kind of characterizing it as like a central body with a bunch of followers is that that is kind of the way that it plays out for him, where he treats it as incredibly personal. Like you need to be loyal to
Like I
me.
don't know, like I see like maybe from his perspective, but like I see like I don't know, like I see all these like calls for attention or whatever, just like him begging for attention, and just like the only people giving him attention are like literally like all of the
August
radicals.
Leo.
All of the radicals are like, bro, come on, this shit
Yeah.
is what you
Yeah,
know
it's
what I mean?
always the masses. It's always the masses.
It's always like the Mentis Cordians or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
his
Yes, we do.
followers or whatever are not the radicals in a server. The radicals in a server are like, bro, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
Like
This is
we're
kind of
for him.
cringe. You know,
yeah,
this is
like bro,
Distinguishing.
if you look at his posts, like you'll see a bunch of meth Discordians be like, "Oh, based, he hates transgenders. Let's go." Oh.
oh
Yeah,
my
man,
god,
it's always people that goes with the flow.
and it's
Like if
like
Zulu turns into
he's
a
doing the
Platonist,
exact
they
same
are
thing.
go turn into a
Hold on,
Platonist.
yeah.
He's like
Yeah,
doing the
yeah.
exact same thing he
Oh,
was, talking about in his video, like he's seeing all these Mentis Cordians, like being like, yo, yeah, bro, you're so based, bro. And he's like catering to that audience.
they
yeah.
they feed something to him. I think it feeds to him some sense of they have loyalty to them. Like they feel
Yeah,
loyal to him.
like,
It
yeah,
feels like
bro.
a
So who's
brothership.
this like snake tuber, bro? Like he's like just this like idol figure, like
Talk about the culture
Yeah.
war.
yeah,
He's the, like the Nazi head, you know?
yeah.
That's the aesthetics that he wants, kinda, yeah. That's his sense of life, you could say. What he
But
That's
I
regards
that's a little
important.
weird, That's just
Yeah, definitely.
weirdo
Definitely
coded for sure.
reflects yeah,
it's
definitely reflects his sense of life.
it's like a narcissism. It's like there's a demand of
I don't want to. I
loyalty.
don't want to psychoanalyze.
Well, again, I don't think this is a psychoanalyzation. I think that it is more just characteristic of like what he's doing. Like that's how he sees it. Like that's how he sees the movement as like I don't think it plays out for him like a body of intellectuals.
I think he's just
They're
very
trying to
disintegrated. That's just what I'm saying. I think he's very like disintegrated, and he's like trying to distract himself with as much nonsense as like like the more nonsense that he can distract himself with, the better, because he doesn't have to
think
uh
doesn't have to think, bro.
yeah, like take on responsibility or whatever. He sees it as like a burden. I don't want to psychoanalyze him, but like
Yeah, that's actually how it comes off as,
he
basically. Yeah,
seems like
he doesn't want to do theory anymore. That's what
he
he
seems
basically said.
like he has low self-esteem is what I would say.
That's for sure.
He
Yeah,
also talks like he also
I
has like a lot on his plate a lot of the time. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like I don't
he's
know.
important, you know.
well, it's less like he has a lot on his plate, and more that because I mean, yeah, Duddy said that before, but I think it's
And
like
people have issues like this, man. Like I've dealt with this a lot of times in my life. Just like I don't know, ADHD, right? It's hard sometimes to be like organized and like have have sort of like a good like schedule and be able to focus on tasks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like make effective
And
use of your time and like instead of
right.
having just like a bunch of slop on your plate, you just have like a
Or just
very
like yeah
rich meal.
I like you know zetetic, you know what I'm talking about when we talked about like the paralysis, like when I think of something like I don't know, maybe he feels pressured or something, I don't know, like it's like
Maybe.
I think of like I have an appointment later in the day and I feel somewhat paralyzed to do a lot of other things. You know what I mean? And I just it's like, oh wait, like I think of all these things I want to do, but then I just end up playing like video games or something. Synthetic said, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
I think
there's
I
a
said something about it.
I want to approach it from more like a historical thing because this is a thing that's happened with movements commonly, where I think it's a matter of crossing the threshold for him. Like he thinks that he's crossed the threshold, like he made his big
Exactly.
integration,
No, bro,
and then
bro, you don't want to
I
do this,
completely
bro. You
agree.
don't want to psychoanalyze too much because like you're like he probably is not doing this in like all like explicitly, like all intentionally, like you know what I mean?
yeah. But my point is that I don't see it
I
like
think
that.
it's a lot of it is just disintegration, man. He's not really integrated the philosophy. He's not applied it like to his life. You know what I mean? He's not
He, yeah.
like
It's just gonna give him ammo to
Yeah, but
call
I'm not
you
even talking
obsessed.
about Zulu anymore. Like I can't stress enough that I'm not even talking about
he
Zulu.
hasn't taken the
You're talking about
time
history. You're talking
to
about patterns in
Yeah,
history
like
of movements.
yeah, like it's kind of like a thing where there's like a these people think that they like cross the threshold in their time. Like
like
I know
I
I'll,
don't like to talk about stuff that's not useful for myself. You know what I mean? Like I talk about these things like oh
Okay,
like whenever I talk about
but
ever
can't we talk about it?
Zulu's rationalism, this Zulu's rationalism, that I'm talking about it in the sense of like this is what we need to be able to identify. This is what we need to be able to
Yeah, I mean that's what
catch in
he's doing.
ourselves, not to be able to avoid. You know, like
Mhm.
that's what
yeah,
I'm.
but
He's talking about the movement, right?
I don't like the way Sertino's going about it. Honestly,
Why?
Mm.
yeah,
do
like
you understand what I'm saying, Sertino?
not really. I was just gonna talk about like something a lot broader.
No,
Go
yeah, I
ahead.
think you're making too broad of characterizations.
Like characterizations how it's just like a thing that happens. Like
Pattern
we've talked about it
recognition,
before.
noticing.
Like I remember
Yeah.
you agreed with my point about it
Well,
before. I
if
was
you're talking about something different, then I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, what I was gonna mention was that like there's like an error that occurs where people think that they've completed their integration phase in life and then they get to talk about like a lot of freebie points.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he has said that
I don't
too. He
even.
has explicitly said that. Really,
He said that, but
in
it
the
doesn't come
remnant.
across like that. You know, not
Um,
to me, anyways. It seems like he's
Well, you would know. You didn't let me finish.
very unlearned, you know, and he knows he's not learned a lot. You
Yeah,
know,
I,
I don't know.
I
he
would like
just
to hear
doesn't.
it though.
He just doesn't
Well,
seem to have the drive to learn anymore. I don't know why. You know,
an objectivism or like ANCAP legal theory?
I
Oh,
don't know.
What?
Like which specifically
maybe
are you
both.
talking about? Like what errors do you see in this legal theory?
What?
That's not the issue.
I
It's
mean,
about
it's like the
movements.
goal. Like the goal is integrating objectivism and anarcho-capitalism, but like that process is never gonna like stop somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my point. It's like the movement is you're keeping the ball rolling, but the ball's not being rolled anymore.
Well, yeah, that's the point. But what is it about? It's about the intellectualism. Where is it at? Where's the intellectualism? That's my point. That's what I want to focus on, and that's what I do focus on, right?
I don't see why you needed to object to any of that. They seem to just agree with him.
I just want to keep the focus where it's supposed to be, where it should be.
Okay.
You know
I
what I'm saying? Stratino?
Yeah, but a lot of the time my points are twofold. Like I don't ever stop at like the negative of it.
Okay, bro.
I usually kind of cross over to the relevant part. It's kind of both for me. Like there's like a comparison and contrasting.
Sakura, you're echoing a bit.
Oh,
Oh,
he's not there.
yeah.
Uh,
You can yeah, I can mute him for a second, and then he can.
will he be able to hear you?
Yeah, I'll just ping him and tell him that I muted him because his mic was echoing. Tell me when you're back. Um,
Hello, myself.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
By the
Okay.
way, the reason I asked that is because it seems like all the major integrations in like ANCAP legal philosophy, it seems like those are just mostly done. I don't really see where else you can go with it.
you can always.
You don't know what you. I mean, if you're saying that, you just really don't know what integration is all about. So
I
No,
mean,
I mean always open to like new ideas and shit.
done. It's
It's
about
just that
like the spiral theory of knowledge, right? You keep coming back to it because you're integrating into the whole context of your knowledge.
I realized that when I started programming and stuff, like optimizing for certain things. There's always new things to like add and
Right.
change and stuff. Yeah, I suppose it's similar.
yeah, but
Right.
I'm
And
more
then
so
but that's
talking about like major integrations and
I
stuff.
don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, for one. So,
well, what I was
Well,
gonna,
can you give grounds for that?
I just
well,
did.
How so?
Okay, bro.
his
I
Adderall hasn't
mean,
picked him. I promise. I
It,
promise
it's
he's
so
usually not this bad.
it's okay, but you do you not know what I mean by major integration or something?
I don't think you do.
Okay, I mean, I thought it would be intuitive to you, but let me try my
I don't
best to
know. Did you
explain.
arrive at that fucking concept by intuition?
When I say major, I just mean like an integration that is like
What is integration?
it's when you combine different ideas into new ideas,
Oh.
essentially.
Yeah, bro. No.
I mean, I just gave an honest on the spot explanation of it, but
No, yeah, I mean it's just to show that you don't know what you're talking about.
I think he tried to define integration, but it's a lot.
No, he was giving like it's where you do this, da da da, but it's
Uh,
he doesn't know what he's talking about. read how we know, bro. Yeah, and what he says about integration
I
in
mean,
there.
do you
If
want
you've never,
examples of integration or something?
could
what I want to
possibly.
hear is what does integration require, right? What is the work entailed by integration, right? It's all about integrating into the whole context, right? Into the larger context.
Mm.
That's what integration is all about. It's not about integrating ideas into like combining ideas into like propositions. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Binswanger explicitly says this, that it's much more difficult of an activity than combining propositions in a syllogism.
I was going to mention that passage.
Right? Yeah, he does say that.
Yes, but I think that like a good understanding of integration
Well, I
is
mean, okay, go on.
well, yeah, an important part of integration, or probably one of the most defining aspects about integration, is that you are taking a concept and then putting into how it participates in the whole. You're identifying its participation with respect to the whole. Like that
So
is
you're basically taking things you know and then relating it. That way
Right, but
you
it's a
can
very
know
like
more.
meticulous like kind of process, you know?
Okay, I mean that's basically what I was trying to get at. I was just giving an on the spot, answer.
Yeah, but I can tell you were just like making it up as you went. You know, you could it rather than that, be honest and be
I
like, I need
I
to be
I knew what
I don't really
I knew
know.
what I meant. That's what I was
I'm sure you vaguely got it. Like you were trying to point to it in some sense, but I don't
like. I
imagine that it
can,
was awfully clear to you. Otherwise, I think you would have
if
been able
you
to.
asked me examples of integration, I can give you that.
I mean, you just
And
gave
from
me like
there,
colloquially like what integration means to the like layman, you know?
yeah, and I knows that that concept is much deeper than just that on the spot explanation.
Okay, bro.
What are you guys talking about?
Integration.
Yeah, bro. It's it's not
You
really
being gay.
much of a point to this.
Hmm.
Anyway, this all started because G didn't know what I meant by major integrations into a philosophy rather than like minor integrations. I'm
Well,
I'm
he said,
trying to make a comparative point. That's what I'm
Oh, no,
saying.
don't worry about it.
Like certain integrations compared to others are much more major.
That's
well,
why
what
I
we
asked,
were
what is
saying.
an integration? I don't know. You're saying certain other integrations are like, like what does that even mean, bro? Like we got an integration over here, and we got an integration over here.
Well, I think it's just that we. It's not that we didn't know what you meant. It's just that like we were pointing out that, or at least I was pointing out the fact that I don't think that you understand what major integration means.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
integrating into
so
what? Integrating into
Mm.
what?
Right.
uh,
And also,
okay,
integration is
so
not something that can be done for you by anybody else. It's not something that can suffer any like proxy by like, you know what I mean? So what you said from the start was just nonsense. Like, oh, all the integrations, like major integrations in NCAP legal theory have been done. Like that's just complete nonsense.
uh, well like what I'm speaking about there is that from what people in general know about ANCAP legal theory, not you as an individual, just in general, all the major integrations have been done, and you can just read about them
What is
because
that?
it's already there.
You can't just read about integrations. Like I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah, no, I was going to mention specifically that we just talked about integration as not being able to be done for you. So it has to be individuals choosing to integrate the knowledge.
Yeah,
I
on a
mean,
level,
G,
yes.
G,
So
what did
it's
you
not
say
like a
about
broad generalization you can make.
G? What did you say about words again? Like
Yeah.
the words in your books, like it's the words are not what they mean or whatever.
Yeah, the
Like
words are not what they mean.
yeah.
Hmm.
So what's a major integration and what's a minor integration? Do you have examples?
I think it's total nonsense.
I just know. I just want to know what he's trying to say. I don't know.
I don't think
Maybe
he
he
even
means
knows what
something
he's trying to
else.
say. He's just He's
Yeah,
just
but maybe he'll figure out as he goes. Maybe you'll see that it's
No, I
doesn't make
think he
sense.
needs
I
to
don't know.
think about it instead of
Bro.
just
Yeah, I
going
will think about it
going
when he's talking about it.
going by
That's
his
all
like
I often learn.
going by
That's
his
always
like intuition,
That's
He's
how
just
to,
like
yeah, you have
he's
to
just
think about it.
intuiting it.
Don't rationalize it. Don't rationalize it.
Yeah, he's just rationalizing it. Come on, bro.
doesn't have
Like,
the discussion though. I don't know.
well, this I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I've thought about integration a lot, bro, and none of this makes any sense. It sounds like you're just making things up as you go.
Yeah,
So
but
it sounds
maybe
like
it's some different
you're
concept that
just
he's
like
referring to there.
spewing hot air. That's what it
Okay,
sounds like to me.
okay.
You're just blowing hot air. Like it's
Okay.
no offense, bro. We've all been there.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah,
about to
but
say,
like,
don't take it as an insult or take it
Yeah.
personally, but like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Like I personally don't care. I'm just thinking right now
Yeah,
on
people
what's
here are
best to
very
say.
passionate about the topic.
no.
Um,
You
but
just
it
I mean,
just
sounded
became
it's like
impossible
part of the
for him to
problem.
talk
It's like
about it,
part of the
talk about
problem
anything.
that people, like a lot of people, they just use words like integration, just like so like
because I agreed with your definition of integration. I was just
you,
trying to say.
you get what I'm saying? Like people use like words like integration just totally like
I agreed.
gratuitously. You know what I mean?
I agreed with your definition on integration, so that's not really the issue here. I think
Well, I didn't
the
give it that.
problem is like what I mean by major or minor. In which case, that's just me saying that relative to other integrations you could make,
Oh
these
man.
are most
Come on,
these
bro.
are these are the integrations that kind of like make the most changes into the philosophy. Like they
What do you really mean
are
by
there are
most
no
important.
more
Like
fundamental
I
puzzle pieces than
really
others.
think we should stop.
Dare I say,
Like, bro, I don't want.
every
Bro,
integration is
it's
major.
derailing so much.
Every
Yeah, dare
integration
I
is
say it?
very important. Every integration.
I don't know, bro. Like, this is very like. I want to get away from this because this is not the point
Yeah, I
of the
mean, the
discussion.
easiest way to do that is just talk about Zulu then.
I mean, you
No, I
kind
don't
of
want to
Bro,
talk
started
about
this
Zulu, bro.
debate.
Me and
Bro,
You
me and
kind of
So
fucking
what do
Zulu
you want to talk
talks.
about then? We were
for
saying
fuck's
bro,
derailing.
sake,
he
For
wants to
bro.
what?
talk
For
about
fuck's sake,
Stratino the
leave,
whole time.
leave, bro. I don't know. Me and Stratino, we're gonna talk about something important, bro. I called him into
Yeah,
the
just talk
VC here
about
to
it then.
I was just
Okay, then
being
shut the
general.
fuck up. Jesus. Bro, bro's just wanting fucking drama, bro.
What?
I mean, you started the whole debate. All I was trying to say is that there's all the
Bro, I don't.
it seems to me that all the major integrations in ANCAP legal theory have been done.
Oh, good for you,
And
bro.
other I'll
Good,
mute
good
They're
for
going
now.
you, bro.
circles.
Have fun with that thought, bro. I hope you just like diddle yourself to the thought of that, just like, and you have a lot of fun. Okay.
I think I'm going to actually sleep. Have a good discussion. Good night.
Good night.
Like, come on. Okay,
Ah,
Stratino. Lock in, bro. Come on.
What do you
Ah,
mean
all
locked
right.
in? What was I supposed to
Let's
lock
do
the
with
yeah,
fuck
that?
let's
in.
let's let's recalibrate here. What are you guys gonna
Let's
talk
lock the
about?
fuck in here, bro. I
Alright,
I want to get this fucking shit done, bro. Fuck.
What shit? What are we doing?
So what are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up, Zetetic.
What
Yo,
the fuck is what's your problem?
bro, what do you mean?
waiting for the Adderall to
Ask
kick in,
you.
man.
Are you saying you're supposed to be talking about something and you're not talking
Shush,
about
shush,
it?
shush,
I
shush,
don't know.
shush, shush. Stratino.
Uh-huh.
Let's lock the fuck in, bro.
Dude,
Okay?
I'm so locked in right now.
You're
Give
so
me
locked. Okay, bro. So, what do we gotta do, bro?
rationalism. We gotta talk about rationalism. We gotta create an
Okay,
outline.
have
Oh
you
yes.
have you looked at the discussion I just had with Boots, right?
Um let me go through it. It would be something to bounce off of.
Yes, definitely. That's what I'm thinking.
Alright. I'm gonna scroll up here.
So that the idea, the outline, right? I mean, you can kind of see what it is. The whole argument here, it's sort of crystallizing around I mean, it's sort of converging around just a few points, right?
Mhm.
Like in these last couple of debates that I've had, or sort of like the discussions I've been having, right?
Mhm.
It keeps converging around just a couple of few points. You know, like have you seen the discussion? Pegglesworth is not here, but have you seen the discussion where we sort of converged on oh, most people who argue about like the validity like of the concept of like death, right? They oscillate between like these two different arguments, right? You
Yes.
know what I mean? You saw that, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm feeling is happening like here, right?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand. Um.
And I think like that's what we kind of have to like organize the like video around, you know?
Let's see. Um.
Like I know that Rosen's argument about the impredicativity being the only like alternative to an unacceptable infinite regress, right?
Mhm.
In any instance of like measurement, right?
Mhm.
Is very important, right?
Yes.
And just like impredicativity in general, having to refer to the larger system, right? All that
Mhm.
stuff is going to be very important, right?
Obviously. So let me pull out my computer to jot down some. Um, because yeah, no, obviously one of the seminal topics to talk about is impredicativity versus infinite regress.
Yes, and have you seen my notes on that? I have a lot more notes on that than in the organism environment system note. Like
Mm.
on uh have I showed you it?
No, it's mostly been you and
Okay.
Secures.
I can tell you which notes they're in.
All right.
Yeah. So it's like one of them is like it has like entailments as something like jargled like, but it says entailment something. Right?
Let me.
That's one of them.
Why is Obsidian? Why is computer so fucked right now? Let me shut it off and restart it.
Like I talk all about Rosen's like whole thing about like distinguishing, you know, like causal entailment in nature, right? You know, like in
Mhm.
particular loops, right? And like inferential entailment or strict implication, like right, like deduction from independent knowledge, right? And formalisms, right? Like linear
Mhm.
chains, right?
Yes.
And I have a lot of notes on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I also connect that in the form function split balance note, you know, with
Yes.
like Turvey's stuff about the flow of entailment, like predicative versus in predicative direction of entailment, right?
Mm-hmm.
With components and function and context and all that, right?
Yes. Let me
Like
go.
the entailment of function stuff. But I think we really need to get the point home. Like you remember my initial explanation of what necessity is as a closed entailment loop, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to really drive that point home. Like necessity is a closed entailment loop. Like validity is a closed entailment. All this stuff is closed entailment loops, right? And
Mm-hmm.
actually, what gives us all these closed entailment loops is just the first law of thermodynamics. You know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to go. Do we need to go into all that? Like the mutual entailment of the first and second law, mutual entailment of symmetry and asymmetry. That seems really important. Even
Um.
just for impredicative loops, like an impredicative loop, it really embodies both. I mean, it
There
embodies the mutual entailment of the first and second law. You know?
has to be a more concrete way to introduce it. Like again, I think that like there when I'm thinking about all of this stuff, I'm thinking about the way that we would be introducing it. along with it, and not just
Yeah,
it
that's
as
why you're here. You see, I went right, I went all the way the deepest I can go just now. You know, you see
Alright.
how immediately I get dragged into like the
Yeah.
deepest context.
Yes. I'm here to reel you back out. So let me do rationalism notes outline. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
wait, open these notes though.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Open the
Yeah.
note was like entailment something, and then open a note that's like embodied something.
Let's see. Entailment. Um, let's see. Um, I see mutual entailment of the first and second laws of thermodynamics.
No, it should be like one word, like entailments is like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
no, I see it.
you see it.
Yes.
And then the next one is like embodied like computation, I think. Something like that.
Let me look up. Let's see. Embodied.
It's just random notes.
Oh.
And there's um there's the form function split balance one, there's the measurement versus mapping one. Uh
Um,
I think the one with like you can see in like you probably can just control F for like entailment in all of these, and you'll find like which ones are have the most relevant stuff, you know?
yeah. So
Like
let's see.
entailment, something like that. You can just control F.
Let me look through. Natural systems and their variables are the basis for all scientific inquiry, but more in accordance with natural law. Science is the attempt to discover relations in and between natural systems and their observables. Rosen calls these relations and between natural systems causal entailments to distinguish them from what we have called inferential entailments, and in between formal systems, which kind of important. So let me um
And you've seen the whole argument, Rosen's argument for the alternative. I mean, impredicativity being the alternative to an infinite regress. I mean, the only
yes,
alternative.
yes, I remember this. Um which let's see. Um
That's in the organism environment system, though.
mhm. So let me look through this. Um those loops of entailment, no room for positing. No closed loop requires positing.
Because I remember in the review of the Zulu debate, we actually circled around a pretty important point about how the rationalist always sets up like they're always trying to get you to agree with like an infinite regress, right? And that
Mhm.
infinite regress follows from some dualism, right?
So let me write that down. That's an important point. So rationalists as attempting to fit you into some form of infinite regress, always being. Let's see. I mean, let me put it
That's the
actually as
move.
a.
That's the move to impoverishment, right? Or just like move to impoverishment, you get the dualism, and then with the dualism, you can say, "Oh, there's an infinite regress," right? Then we need to stop the regress by fiat with some unentailed entailer. You know what I mean?
Move to
Because there's two
impoverishment.
ways. There's two ways of stopping the regress. Is one by fiat, one with impredicativities, but only one gives you no unentailed terms, right?
Mhm.
In reality, outside the formalism, that unentailed entailer actually has to be entailed. It's just not entailed by anything in the formalism. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So there has to be
So
impredicativity outside.
yeah. So let me put that the infinite regress is always stopped by fiat.
Yeah, and you saw in the Boots debate, it ended up being a really important point that we start, but we both start with no missing pieces, right? Their whole argument rests on that premise one, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no missing pieces when we look in nature, right? But our theory tells us the supposed basis of this is like impoverished. It can't entail this, what we have, right? The no missing piece. So there's missing pieces, and like, what something must supply the missing pieces, right? Because we have all the pieces, you know.
Yeah, well, we always think best in examples, so I want to go through this.
Oh, and
Boots debate.
yeah, I got a really good. I had I in the debate too. I mean, I saw like a really good example. I mean, in the review, I was like, it's like it's they usually go about like the move to impoverishment. It usually goes like, oh, the world and of change in particulars is I forget. It's like it's unreal because that's the world we perceive, right?
Uh-huh.
So we need to. You see, I basically I put it in text in for Boots, so I said it pretty nicely in text.
Mhm.
What I was saying in the review.
So
I don't know if you can search that up in the chat.
I'm gonna put in the note that the impoverishment is positive. Like they're just like assuming impoverishment from the
Yeah.
get go. And I want to put in
Yeah,
quotate
but a
or
good point to get them to see that is that we both have to start. We both literally start with no missing terms, right? They're like, look at nature, there's no missing terms, but our theory says there's missing pieces, and we have all the pieces, so something must supply the missing pieces. You know,
uh so so positive impoverishment, and I'm just gonna put in
it
parentheses as
becomes like the burden is on them to justify the move to impoverishment, right?
mhm. I'm gonna put I'm just gonna put the impoverishment syllogism in parentheses because it might be important to mention it
I
later.
pinned it. I pinned it.
Mhm.
In general chat, just like I said it again, like I put it a little bit like looser, so it's a bit better. Like
Oh,
in general chat, look at the pinned messages.
mhm. There are no missing pieces in reality, but our theory says that there are missing pieces in reality. So we have to find a way to bridge it.
Yeah, here. Here's also yeah, here we go. Remember the point about pure reason, Descartes' third greatest sense, all that stuff, abstraction by subtraction. Yeah, this is very important here. How the move to impoverishment actually works. You know. What you have to do, you start with all the pieces. What you have to do, what they literally do is erase stuff. You know? They destroy things. They break open impredicativities. They destroy them, you know?
Yeah, so let me see. We start with all the missing pieces.
And you see in embodied computation in that note, right? For like uh don't mind the name, right? It's just a random name. But yeah, look in there. You can see it talks about all about like breaking open like natural objects, breaking open impredicativities, you know, all that stuff.
Mhm. So let's see here. The characteristic move to impoverishment usually goes something like the world of particulars and change can't be the real world because that's the world we perceive. Mm, I'm gonna copy that, put that in our notes here because that's a good quote.
Yeah. And so the process usually proceeds by erasing all the facts of particularity and change and reifying the zero you're left with. That becomes true reality in quotations reached by pure reason in quotations, but it's impoverished.
Mhm.
Remember it's it's like again, remember the we this is also a really important argument. The argument by Harvey-Lato and Rosen that I brought up in the review, right?
Uh-huh.
About this being actually like an extremely subjective view,
Yeah.
right?
Um.
Like erasing of context, erasing of particularity, or intentionality. I mean, with an S, intentionality. That's what particularity is.
I'm gonna put that as a footnote. It's not quite relevant yet, but it will be relevant later. I just don't want to forget it. So I'll put down this view is actually incredibly subjective. And then I'll put
Yes,
version.
that's a very important point.
Yeah, it's important. I just think so. Let's see. Let me keep going back up here because I wanna.
Sorry, I'm like I'm going like lightning round on you, bro.
Yeah, I'm also going lightning round because I just really want to get like a bunch of notes and then I'll structure them
Nice.
later. So let's see. Let me keep going up. I want to find the start of this way I can kind of go through what all we got. Let's see. Oh, here's I was scrolling past, but I saw this
Yeah, I don't know if you've
message.
seen before. Like I said, uh, like necessity is not context independent, right? And they were trying to say that that means I'm saying necessity is like contingent on context, and I'm like, no, 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 they're mutually entailed. You can't have one without the other, right?
Mhm,
And in fact, like when you don't have when you have context independence, right? That just means it's like arbitrary. You can put the system in any context, or it can have no context at all. That's what's actually, you know,
a
the negation
priori.
of the negation of necessity, right?
Mhm,
Necessity requires context. That's also a
mhm.
really important point. That was like way back, and
Yeah,
like Boots
no.
is trying to bring that back when he's talking about the problem of necessity or whatever.
Yeah, it's like necessary contingent dichotomy, where necessary means
Yeah,
context independent and contingent
yeah.
means yeah. So there's a comment that you put here that is what issue? There is none. I'm just gonna put that in the notes because it's a really good like just short explanation of like where point to the issue, point to the missing pieces. Um so let's see, let me keep going back
And
up.
you see, he
Uh,
keeps trying to be like, "Oh, but there's missing pieces. Oh, but there's missing pieces." No, no, no. But I eventually realized, like, no, wait. We both have to agree that there's no missing pieces. We both have to start there. You know,
well,
that's
yeah,
how
let me write that down. All right.
that's how he
We
gets to impoverishment. You
have
know,
to start with
and
the
I got him to agree on that because I mean, I mean, when you lay out the argument, I mean, they can't really deny that that's their argument. You know.
to impoverishment in the first one. All right.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about that. So like near the end, you see we talked a lot about that. So you have a lot of like
Mhm,
stuff to like put in your notes and talk like
mhm.
structure, you know?
Is it an equally relevant point to also put down here? Because you say, but I do have reason to believe in impoverishment. What reason? It's going to be entirely arbitrary. I wonder, do you think it's an important point to also
Oh yeah.
make the point that, like,
But
they have to stack
when you're
this
saying
arbitrariness
when you're
against all the
saying
other arbitrary?
when you're saying the burden is on them to justify the move to the move to impoverishment, right? Because we both start with no missing pieces, right? So the burden is on them to justify the move to impoverishment. You say what you need to show, right? Is that this move to impoverishment is unequivocal, right? It's not equivocal with the arbitrary. And you know what I've talked all about that before. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what it means. That's what justification means. Because they just throw out the word justification. They feel like just asserting it, right? It means they
Yeah.
justified it. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
very helpful to be like, no, no, this is exactly what you have to show. And then be like, and then my view, necessary specificity is unequivocal with the arbitrary.
Mhm.
Literally.
So let's.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
for what basis do you have to prefer the move to impoverishment over necessary specificity, right? Because the latter actually has a basis to be preferred over the former, and the former doesn't. The
All right.
arbitrary is unequivocal with the non-arbitrary, right?
Repeat that one again because that's
Yes,
actually a
that's
really
actually.
important point.
Hmm?
Like repeat that one again because that's actually a really important point I need to put down in the notes.
I've said it many,
Um,
many times.
yeah,
Like,
the
just search like equivocal, unequivocal, search it in Zulu server, search like from me, and I've explained this like many times when talking about this argument, right? And them having to justify like premise two, the move to impoverishment.
Impoverishment over necessary specificity.
Yeah, you can search necessary specificity and in Zulu server. I explained that in there too. And I explained it in here too, like, but I didn't use those terms yet. Like, what base do you have to prefer it? Like, this is equivocal or whatever. I didn't, but I still kind of said that. I was like, you have to give me a reason why you're choosing impoverishment over necessary specificity. You know, I said that a while ago when I first brought up this like sort of like informal syllogism, right?
Let's see. Missing pieces. All right, so we put the preferential treatment of impoverishment over necessary specificity as being an arbitrary preference having no basis, and their arbitrary wiping of missing pieces must be stacked against all other arbitrary wiping out of missing pieces. So again, I'm going to put in parentheses like my castle stacks higher.
Yeah, and we can say, like, what about the view that's like that just totally denies your whatever you say the impoverished base is, and just says it's something completely different, so completely incompatible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what of the view that?
But that just shows that it's equivocal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the what where you get into a problem and where Zulu got into a problem is that he he took the same position for his own view, you know. So his view was equivocal with with his opponent's view, and that's what the opponent wanted. But again, the arbitrary cannot stand up to the non-arbitrary. It can't even touch it, right? Like, remember all the stuff we've talked about, evidentiary reasoning, right?
Yeah. So already I can see kind of a rough outline, where in my mind I'm looking at all this stuff, and I think that like a way to go about it is to show that there's like a missing piece here. Like, well, that wouldn't be the right word actually. It's more like there's something that they're missing, and that is impredicativity. And
Yeah.
so we have like
Well, yeah, we
this.
start. I think we start with like, right. We talk about necessity, right, and how it's like a matter of explanation, right? Or explanation is a matter of system description, right? You remember the initial explanation I gave of closed loop of entailment and like necessity and system description and like
Yeah,
explanation of behavior, right?
yeah, it's a big old response.
Yeah, but that's all very important. It makes it really concrete. Like, okay, if we slip below the phenomena of interest, right, then we just lose the phenomenon of interest, right? Or we have to import magic, right? And then that makes it really concrete. Oh, well, this transcendental stuff is just magic imported in to save the day. Once we don't even we're not even identifying the right system, you know. And then we're just creating intractable scientific mysteries, right? Instead of like where we have all we have nature, there's no missing pieces, we just have to discover the laws, you know, instead of attribute it to magic, because you don't have the laws at this level. The laws are not available, they're not observable, right? Because you don't have the whole system yet.
This reminds me of what the Introduction to Ecological Psychology book did in Spirit, where it tried to like present the view of the traditional approach, explain all of the, you know, problems that occur out of impoverishment, and then here I think what we're doing different is not treating them as, you know, our position as assumptions, but treating the missing pieces in predicativity, the
Yeah,
missing link.
sort of.
So let's see here. Yeah, no, that's
It's more like It's more. Have you seen the video where I talk about the unifying principle with Sakura?
No, I haven't.
It's very important. In my notes in like new NEWW in that note, you know that
Yes.
note, right?
Yeah.
If you like you control it for like fails or like unifying principle or nature as a universal principle, right? Like I was looking into like the history of science, like ancient science, ancient philosophy stuff, right? And how like you only really had it like with the ancient Greeks, their unique innovation was conceptualizing nature as a universal principle, getting this concept of nature, this notion of nature as a universal principle, such that we can exclude the supernatural as a whole, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be really, really important. You know, like I wanted that to be like basically really close to the start of my book, you know?
Yeah, no, wait. I was about to say that's actually so interesting that I think that it might be important because I think that every good like e- ecological approach video should start with a bit of a history lesson.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I mean, look at what I've said there about like you probably want to watch the video with Sakura on the unifying it says it's in the title like Thales, the unifying principle, right? It's like 2 hours long.
All right. Let's see. So use this for inspiration. Let's see.
But
One should know.
that'll be really important, I think. That'll be a good thing to start with, really. That really motivates it, I
Oh
think.
yeah, no, that's what I was saying. It's great like motivation because it it gives us like a concrete historical basis to grasp onto,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
G.E.R. Lloyd, like that's the historian. I was
yeah,
like really looking into.
1979.
Yeah.
Let's see. Even the philosophers, indeed, as we know when discussing Empedocles, quite in let's see, intensive investigations of nature may be combined with the belief the possibility of wonder working, although the exact stuff. I'm just gonna like take this whole chunk just to kind of have in here, and I'll trim it down maybe later.
No,
Uh,
you probably want to watch the video with Sakura because I went over it like every like relevant like pretty much like all the relevant parts in there with him, but like also I've looked further into like G.R. Lloyd stuff and like I've added a few more like notes from him in there, so I'll have to like send you the updated version.
mhm. All right, so let's say, keep going here. So
But yeah, I
so
wanted that to be very close to the start of my book because I saw it as very like very important, like motivating the whole
Mhm.
thing.
I think it.
Like unity, bro. You know, the
Mhm,
universe. All the stuff I've said about the concept, like what does the concept of universe refer to, right? All the stuff I've said about that, how it refers to basically like Noetherian like continuity. You know, first like uh time translation symmetry or universal time translation symmetry, right? How this thing and this other thing are both part of the same universe, right? That's what the first law was really referring to. That's what the concept of the universe is really referring to. And I've talked all about that before.
yes. I want
Yeah,
to put
you've seen
in.
that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. You had
Yeah,
talked about recently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna put in parentheses here, just after Lloyd's little passage here, particularly the fact that um troubles with the ecological approach for most is feeling it as a radical anomaly in the history of science and philosophy. And I want to put here that this actually helps to bring it out of an anomaly.
Oh, I
Um,
don't think that's a good way to start it. I don't want to say that
no, this is a
because
footnote to myself.
okay, yeah. I mean, it's like when I bring that in the beginning of my book or whatever, I want to show that this is just like what science is all about. What is it's always been about, you know, like natural philosophy. What science has really all just been about is searching for these like unifying principles. Principles are meant for unifying, for integrating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Integrating into a unified whole.
Let's see.
An intelligible as one universe, right? Everything is intelligible as part of one universe.
Yes. So my little quotation myself is troubles with the ecological approach for most is the feeling of it as a radical anomaly in the history of science and philosophy. This benefits the ecological approach is actually a correction on the right being on the right track of what science and philosophy has always been about, which is one intelligible universe. So let me keep going here. Let's see. Um, there's actually that God, this debate lasted for fucking ever. There's a lot to go over.
Yeah, like I said, it was
So
only like near the end. I was like, I just got tired of it, and I was like, bro, come on, like actually, you have to agree with me here, or you just fucking concede. You do not get transcendentalism if you concede that on premise one. Or so like, no, you have to agree with premise one that we start with no missing pieces. That we go, look, there's no missing pieces in nature, but our theory says there's missing pieces. So we need something else needs to apply, like supply the missing pieces, right?
yeah. So I see here
If they
first they
disagree
go
with
to
either one, right? That we start with no missing pieces. They disagree with that, then they can't make the move to impoverishment. You know.
Mhm. So I
And
see
if they
here
disagree with the move to impoverishment, then they can't bring in their transcendentalism to save the day, right?
mhm,
And also, if they disagree with one and just say like, "Oh, it's impoverished," whatever, then like, well, what is the transcendentalism? Like, how do you justify the transcendentalism without going, "Look, we actually have all the missing pieces, so something must have supplied it," right?
mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So it all relies on that.
Mhm. So see, first they go, there are no missing pieces in nature. When we look at nature, there's no missing pieces. We know why. There's all this order and organization and why. And then they posit that the assumed basis X is too impoverished to entail Y. X lacks the order and organization present in Y. And X is all that perception, empiricism,
Yeah.
naturalism,
And
and
how did
history.
they get this impoverished X, right? Remember?
Mhm.
Abstraction
And
by subtraction.
in fact, that's another booyah to kind of put down. Let's see, abstraction by subtraction, and I'm gonna put abstraction by subtraction
And then they're like,
next
"Oh yeah,
to.
the world reached by pure reason, the one where we just erase all particularity, all change, because that's the world we perceive, and obviously perception's just unreal, unobjective, man. We just got to get rid of anything having to do with that, and then just the world we arrive at by pure reason once we've just like purified it, right? Of all this
Mhm.
dirty matter, all this dirty, all this dirty particularity and change, right?
Yeah,
That's the real world, right? Oh,
yeah.
but it's too impoverished to entail what we have in perception, so something else must supply the missing pieces.
Let's see. So once we particulars,
And it's like when you say it like that, it sounds silly, right?
yeah.
It sounds silly, but remember what we were going. Remember in the debate review, I that's why the argument from Rosen and Harvaledo is so important because they make it sound so objective, right?
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why it's
Um.
very important to bring that up. Be like really watch out for this because they'll try like they've been at this for fucking centuries, bro. You know, like just like their whole tactic relies on making it sound just like as objective as possible, while it's just an extremely subjective view. You
Yeah, no,
know?
I was gonna say I put it right next to my note about Rosen as the view being incredibly subjective.
Yeah. So that's also a really important point, right? Because
Mhm,
it sounds like silly when we say it like that when we say it so plainly for what it really is, right? Because
mhm,
that's not the way it's presented. That's not the way it's performed, you know?
mhm. Um, let's see. They'll cause is actually incredibly objective. So let's keep going. I think I just got to the beginning. See, Boots is sending this like image. Causal theories of perception covered earlier in the chapter. Yeah, he's talking about impredicativity in the act of referring. You talking about the causal chain stuff? Yeah, causal chain theory of perception. Well, it's saying that would be too impoverished. Not enough entailment in quote causal chains. I would hardly call them causal. Wait, so this is rejecting causality between object and subject, and that's a riddle. Um, state to state transitions like that are a formalism that literally can't say anything about causality. That, I think, is another important point about formalisms not being able to specify that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So,
I can give more on that.
mhm.
I've brought up some stuff about that a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely do.
Here, I have a couple of Rosen pages on that.
All right.
Let me see. Here, anywhere I forwarded this. I don't know if I think you can see the forwards too by just searching the same words. It like
Mhm.
pop. It's a different message if you search it up in the
All
chat.
right.
So here, let me see. Uh, yeah. So anywhere where I forwarded these papers, right? Because it's like on those pages, right? Rosen says, yeah, determinism and indeterminism are both purely formal. They make absolutely no reference to causal terms. Rosen talks about this.
Mhm. So let me let's see, determinism and determinism. Let's see, scope.
Yeah, determinism is just it's like a like a property, like a characteristic of formalism. It's like it's like it's
Yeah.
basically just decidability, or
Mhm.
well, it's basically just being determined by fully by the rules, right? In classical mechanics, you don't have measurement problems, right? Because
Mhm.
it's fully decidable, right?
Mhm.
It just the whole formalism just proceeds purely from the rules fixed in advance, right?
Mhm.
And so, but quantum mechanics formalism, it like in principle makes you encounter like these measurement problems where you have to step outside of the formalism and make a decision, right? And the formalism can't proceed by the rules alone, right?
Mhm. And me,
That's just why it's like that's just where the so-called like indeterminacy in quantum mechanics comes from. That's literally just where it comes from.
mhm.
It's just not being purely determined by the rules which are fixed in advance.
Mhm.
But
And
like that's
also,
like it's defined that way. It's on purpose. You know what I mean?
I'm also gonna put with how rationalists will posit this like abstraction by subtraction view as incredibly objective. I'm also gonna put that they treat it as incredibly fundamental when it's actually like super particularized and almost completely arbitrary.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, Rosen talks all about this. How you need to grant yourself like a large enough world to deal
Oh
with.
yeah, no, he calls it like a larger universe of scale, or was it? It's like he says something about the universe. You know, he uses the term universe.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's also about like it's just a super small like surrogate
yeah,
universe, right?
universe of discourse is what he says.
Yeah, but like that's not what I'm talking about. It's like yeah. That is what I'm talking. Yeah, he does say it
Yeah,
there.
no, I was about to say.
He does says yeah, he does say that there.
Yeah.
But also in the paper, I think it's like one of his unpublished papers where he's talking about like, oh, this is like actually what subjectivity really means. Is what I say subjectivity means, right? It's just replacing the real world with a smaller surrogate world. Like the formalism,
Wait, can
right?
you actually link that one? Do you have it?
It's one of his. It's like in the collection of Rosen's papers, you see UP Rosen. Those are all his
Mhm,
unpublished papers. I just like
mhm.
Control F for subjective in there,
All
right?
right. Let
Control F
me.
for subjective in like all of his stuff, because like he's made this argument in several different places in like his unpublished papers and in some other of his published papers. Yeah, I put it in
Mhm.
general.
All right,
A
good.
collection of Rosen's papers.
Yeah, let me
If
get
you
some.
look in use very soon, I think that note in my vault, Used very
Mhm.
soon. If you search subjective in there, I
Yeah.
have some of his notes there about on that.
Use very soon. Yeah, use very soon. All
I
right.
think I
Good.
put it in there.
All right. Let me keep words subjective. Um, mm, let's see. Yeah, Rosen. 1996. Um, let's see. Can I click on you? You. Good to know it's 1996.
Yeah,
I'll.
but that's just one of them. I think that was his published paper where he said it. But there was
Mhm,
also in an unpublished paper where he was like going like deeper into like that argument about like this is
mhm,
what I truly mean by subjective. Like this is like it's just you're replacing it but with a small surrogate world. I forget exactly how he says it, but he says it really well.
mhm.
It's like his unpublished like notes or whatever.
All right. So let's see.
And I found it
Um,
surprising that he was basically making the same argument that Harvelato made. Harvelato made basically the same exact argument as him.
Let's see. I feel this is an example of subjectivity in the worst sense. Wisdom is that something is technically difficult for us, it must be impossible for nature. Um, let's see. Um, it's worse. Let's see. Their subjectivity lies in the choice of methods for evaluating a limit system. I see somewhere here. Um, let's see. Um, um, with thought itself and nature itself. Here, subjectivity in the above sense is the presumption of the primacy of intervals in syntactic operation. Let's see here. Kind of grazing through browsing. Um, yeah, I'll keep this one in mind, but I don't want to harp
Yeah.
on it too much. Um,
Yeah, but you see how that'll be important for
mhm,
sure.
yeah. So, um,
And we can cite we can cite both Rosen and Harvelato for that.
do you did you already send Harvaleto's stuff on that?
Uh,
Is
like
it?
I copied the argument in my organism environment system like very early on, but like I'll send it. Like you could just search like extremely subjective
Oh,
and somewhere I think it's like extremely subjective. I think he says that, but
okay.
um here.
Um, yeah. So, because the more I can look into all these papers, the better. So let's see. Um,
Here, this is Harvaleto's thing.
subjective. So let's see. To idealism and materialism are similar in the sense that they both of them
Yeah.
locate the
It
human
sounds,
being.
of course, very objective, but it is, in fact, only an extremely subjective point of view.
Yes. So, um,
It is
and
so subjective that it may freely assert that the only objective point of view is the observer's own.
wow. Oh,
I love
that's
the way he says that.
yeah. So
To say that the
that's
world would objectively exist with those prop or yeah. So in any case, both start with the absolute separation of man and environment and have a criterion of reality. Those properties have as a criterion of reality those properties of the environment that may be experienced or measured, which is the same thing. What did I? Oh yeah, no, I'm I'm reading too far. Yeah,
mhm.
it's basically talking about like Newtonian abstract Newtonian properties, abstract like, Euclidean like properties, right? Like
Yeah.
these idealizations, right?
Mhm.
And to say the world would objectively exist with those properties which we know even if we did not exist which we know, even if we did not exist, is only a reverse way of saying that the world is our construction. It sounds, of course, very objective, but it is in fact only an extremely subjective point of view. It is so subjective that it may freely assert that the only objective point of view is the observer's own. Conscious perception means the possibility of describing the world around us and determining its properties from the point of view of the human being. Yeah, properties of the objective world, and they are constructed in the head of the observer by computations. I mean, but it's like the whole idea, like pure reason, Descartes' third greatest sense, abstraction by subtraction, all these different forms of it's just faith. They're all faith, right? It's just some like supposed way of accessing the world of forms and extracting work from the world of forms, which would literally be a violation of the second law, right?
hmm And also, by the way, I'm just gonna put like in bold because I think it would be an incredibly important topic of the video is to integrate impredicativity as the what was it? It was as the see it's like the objectivist method. I
Yeah.
might not be saying
The
that right.
essence of the method of objectivism,
Yeah, the essence of the method of objectivism is what I meant. But let's see. So I'm gonna put um
which is
the
like the logic of objectivism, right?
yes.
Of the objectivist like view of logic, right? We're always talking about what the objectivist view of knowledge is unique. I mean, or logic is unique, right? It's unique because of the view their conception of objectivity, right?
So I'll add that and I'm gonna put it in bold because that's almost like a whole topic within this
And their
that
conception of objectivity is so clearly like
hmm
just trying to point to impredicativity, you know?
and I'm gonna put in italics
Yeah.
understanding objectivism because Peikoff talks about it. He's getting at it so clearly, but he just does not have
Yeah,
the
I mean, he basically
language.
says word for word almost how Rosen describes impredicativity, like, seeing the whole in the part, you know what I mean?
Let's see. So
And like
yeah. So,
oscillating back and forth, right?
mhm,
No, it's a non-terminating loop, bro. That's what he's trying to get at. There's no terminal point. He always tries to he's always circling around this point that there's no no absolute termination, you know?
mhm.
It's a non-terminating loop, but he doesn't know how to say it.
So
So
let's see.
he keeps trying to just say like the spiral theory of knowledge is really important here. We don't start at some fixed point. We don't end at some fixed point.
Let's see. We don't start or end at any fixed point. Um, let's see.
Yeah, you'll see
Let's keep
whenever
going.
he brings up the spiral theory of knowledge, he's like, the spiral theory of knowledge is going to be really important here. When he's trying to answer such questions, like, where do we start here? Where do we start in the history of philosophy, right? Where do we
Mhm,
start? All these different questions. And he's trying to grasp that, okay, there's some sort of non terminating loop here, in understanding the subject.
mhm. So let's keep going. I have so many notes right now. I have about almost 3 pages. So
Okay,
we'll
I mean, tell me like step back a little bit. I don't know. Tell me what's going on here. What's going on with you? Because I'm just like, I'm going crazy.
I'm here to like write down all of the notes that could possibly come to mind. So right now, and this is all out of order. What I have is like rationalist as attempting to fit you into some form of infinite regress. There's positive impoverishment, like, and I'm gonna have in parentheses the impoverishment syllogism, which will be relevant. Which from the impoverishment you have the positive dualism, and then the infinite regress is always stopped by fiat by some unentailed entailer. There are no missing pieces in reality, but our theory says that there are missing pieces in reality, so we have to find a way to bridge it. We start with all the pieces, but then we have to erase them and then wipe them out of reality. And then I have here in quotes the world of particulars, and change can't be the real world, because that's the world we perceive. And so the process usually proceeds by erasing all of the facts of particularity and change and reifying the zero you're left with. That becomes true reality, reached by pure reason, but it's impoverished. What's the issue?
It's
There
like
isn't.
it's like the like pure reason is. I mean, it's like the whole idea we can just like step outside of ourselves, access the world from like a view from nowhere. You know what I mean? And that's the
Mhm.
real world. You know.
Yeah, abstraction by
I said
subtraction.
it so well. So look in my notes. I don't know if you can see it in organism environment system, or maybe it's in box 4. It's either in box 4 or in organism environment system. One of those notes.
Mhm.
Search for like view from nowhere.
It's a view from nowhere. Um, let's look through this. View from nowhere, organism environment system. All right. So let's see. View from.
There's either spaces or hyphens in between the words.
Mhm. So view from nowhere. Can I? Oh, 0 results. Let me try spaces. Um, wait, why can't I find it? Yeah, I can't find it. View from nowhere. Hmm. Um,
Are you using OmniSearch? Like sometimes it's hard to find stuff with OmniSearch.
yeah, I'm using OmniSearch, but then I'm at the organism environment system node, but
Maybe
I'm
search
then
nowhere
all right. Yeah, I'll search nowhere. Mhm.
or like imagine.
Mhm.
I remember I said imagine in that like paragraph.
Let's see. Nowhere.
But I also think it might have been in box 4, like that note where it's like box 4.
Mhm. Let me
Because I might have
put
moved.
box 4. We go through. It's difficult to find. Let's see. Energy from nowhere. Yeah. Spatial reality from
Like
nowhere.
box 4, there's a lot of stuff about abstraction by subtraction.
Mhm. Is it just called box 4?
Yeah, it has like multiple O's.
Oh,
Box 4. Yeah.
well, yeah, box 4. All right. So, abstraction by subtraction. Let's see what we can find here. Yeah, how abstraction as subtraction came into psychology.
Yeah,
Um,
actually like I found it. Like I found some other paper. I was just reading some book, and like this guy was talking about abstracting. I was like, "Whoa, what?"
yeah,
So
Foucault.
like this, like I thought it was just a term Binswanger was using, but apparently he got it from
Yeah.
somewhere too.
Um, Fire the
So I saw that I'm
Truth.
like, "Yoink!" I'm gonna yoink that, you know.
Let's see. It appears globally as a logical operation of representations. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this little quote from
You see,
Foucault.
you see nowhere.
Um, let me see. We have 3 out of 11. So, oh no, wait, we have 1 out of 2. A view from nowhere. Okay, yeah. Now I.
You found it? Yeah, I put that together. You see, I said it very harshly. You know? Look how
Mhm.
I said it though.
Let's see. Let me add this Foucault quote. One quick second. There we go. All right, let's go back here. It was thinkers like these prior to Gibson that laid the foundation for an ontology where what is real is precisely that which cannot be known through perception, and what counts as objective is only that which confirms or conforms to this framework, guaranteed not by evidence but by faith in logic, divine implementation, or metaphysical fiat. The question is not whether reality exists independently of perception. The answer is yes. But whether
this
we
is like
can,
the divine part is uh like how did Descartes like justify like how he can, you know what I mean, like how he can have like certain knowledge or whatever. He's like, oh, God wouldn't deceive me because he's all good, you know.
God. Let's see. The answer is yes, but whether we can meaningfully delimit what exists without perception, prior to perception, as if reality is a pre-written catalog of pure forms handed down from on high. Benzwinger, 2015, page 136. This is the root of the contradiction. They assert that reality is made of quote, primary qualities, yet these qualities are not directly perceivable in isolation and have never been, as it entailed that the perceiver was presented with sensations whose qualities did not have any counterpart in the physical world. Cognizance of any property of the physical world would have to be inferential and indirect. Mrs. Lombardo. Wow, got a lot of good sources here. Which brings us to the damning question. How do we come to know an explicitly unknowable world? Where did this list of so-called objective qualities come from? And how do we come to know an explicitly unknowable world? I think kind of relates back to Harvey Lado's point
Yeah.
about what is there is exactly the same question as
Right.
maybe we can include that too as say where did this list of so-called objective qualities come from? If the real world is literally a God's eye view, a view from nowhere, uninhabitable, and unperceived by any organism, then how is it known? By what means, through what
Right.
faculty,
What?
could any human possibly gain access to a world that by definition excludes, exiles, banishes perception? The only answer is mysticism. You must transcend the world of particulars to reach the world of forms. You must abandon context to see the contextless. You must rise above experience in order to claim knowledge of what is beyond it. The assumption is that there exists a faculty, reason, intellect, mathematical modeling that is itself purified of perception, of limitation, of embodiment, of identity, and can therefore reach a detached truth of an unobservable yet
Yeah,
objective
and
world.
this is before I realized. Oh wait, this is just a violation of the second law. This is just a perpetual motion machine of the second. This is just invoking perpetual motion of the second kind.
And so let me
Oh, you
put
can
this.
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't know. Does it say it there where I'm like they like ask us to imagine this view from nowhere and like ask us and then say that this is reality. Like there's another point there. Like does it only say view from nowhere once? Because it should say it like
Let's see.
twice.
View from nowhere. Uninhabitable, unperceivable. Let's see. Yeah, it's just let me go through here. Um yeah, no, it says from nowhere again, which I think is what you're pointing at. I haven't gotten to that point yet. So let's see. Um let's see. And therefore can reach a detached truth about an unobservable yet quote objective world. But this so-called objectivity is anything but objective. It is in fact an extremely subjective commitment to an imagined world, a world that has been purified of all particularity, all change, all meaning, all experience, all life. You are to imagine what the world would look like
Yeah, this is
from
it.
nowhere, structureless, particles in a void, externally impressed forces, and like pure kinematics, stripped from all specificity, and call that reality. God damn.
Right, yeah, you're supposed to imagine yourself like just like that you don't exist, right? Imagine your own non-existence and then call that reality. And oh,
Uh,
bro, you know what this connects with so well?
what?
Oh, bro. Go to the new note, the
Uh,
NEWW note, and then
yeah.
search up on the movement, like search on the movement
Mm-hmm.
of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
on the movement of the earth, right? Because I cite that manga because I thought it was so good. It was making the point so well. Just see what this view leads you, where you have to basically exclude, like, think of yourself as, like, think of the world as just like where you're just non-existent, and then call that the real world, you know, where you can't exist, right? Where
Yeah,
nothing
no,
can be
it was.
said about your existence,
I've
anything that you know.
Yeah, I've also made this point about like the Christians that their entire
Yeah.
ethic is to
Oh yeah.
live for the next world.
Oh yeah. And there's also another quote, right? So
Mhm.
yeah. Oh man, look at this tying together. So that. Or okay, remember this. What we just read, right?
Mhm.
About the view from nowhere, right?
Mhm.
And now the where I was citing on the movement of the earth, right?
Mhm.
Read that, and
Okay.
then read the Brandon quote, and more not Brandon notes, right? It's like right at the top, like
Mhm.
close to the top, where it's like, like if one chooses not to perceive this world, or there's no other world to perceive, there's nothing else to perceive, you know. Or like
I would say
the whole point of the mysticism, like two worlds or whatever, is to psychologically uh incapacitate man for this one, right? For this world.
Mhm.
I would
You remember
say
that quote,
Yes, yes, I
right?
do.
So you
I
see
think
the
I might have gotten
connection
it from Brandon.
I would say that
with
that
that.
view
Yeah, I think so.
Shush, shush,
I
shush,
would
Sakura, shush.
bro, I
Shush.
was gonna say
You see the
something.
connection with these three things, right? I'm trying
Mhm.
to fucking get this connection, bro. Shit. The solid connection, right? With these three things. These three, like, they're in three different notes, right? But they
Mhm.
can be put together so nicely, right?
So let's say this worldview is tragically embodied in On the
All right,
Movement of
let
the Earth.
Sakura speak. What
All
did
right.
you want to say, Sakura?
I was going to say that the thing that you were circling lines up very well with like this modern view that we're like materially insignificant in the world.
Pale blue dot bromide.
Yeah, so, sort of. But yeah, it's even worse than that. It's way worse than that.
Mhm.
Read it.
This
Stratino.
worldview is tragically embodied in On the Movement of the Earth, where one character,
This
tormented
was
by
a
religion.
footnote. This was
Hmm?
a yeah. Actually, look in the organism environment note for this, where because it was a footnote I put on top of another footnote about Plato's worldview.
Let's see. On the movement. Let's see.
You see it, right?
Yeah, oh man. So let's see. No, this is on the movement of M. I only see um on the movement of the earth where one character tormented by religious indoctrination refuses to look at the sky, recalling the priest's words, the
Yeah,
night
it should be.
sky.
It should be there, like the footnotes. It's in a footnote, right?
I see. Things. Yeah. So let me find the footnote within the footnote.
It's hard to see. Are you like you're on your computer? Can you share your
Yes.
screen, or are you on your phone?
Yeah. Let me just join on my computer. So I've been on my phone. There we go. All right. Let me.
Yeah. So you see how those three things can be put together really nicely, right?
Yeah. So let me just fuck it. I'll share my like entire screen. Actually, yeah. Let me share my entire screen and
What's
then
the
you can.
word? What's the word? It like harshly, like not that's not the word. It, like severely, like, you know, characterized severe. Like I don't know what the word is. You know,
Mm-hmm. So let me
you know
see.
what I'm trying to say.
Uh, no.
What are you trying
Not
to grasp
really.
at? What are you trying to grasp at?
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. So, where is this footnote within the footnote? You better come here, buddy.
Yeah, it's right there. You see that footnote right there. The ancient
This one?
Greeks gazing at the stars. You
Oh,
don't see it,
uh, maybe. Yeah, I'm not good at this shit. I say
bro. You were
ancient.
looking at that paragraph. It's the same
Oh,
paragraph.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. All right. Yeah, no, I don't see that shit. I'm blind.
Like maybe like if you search like brackets 3,
Yeah, it's right here.
if you search that, you can see where what it was a footnote for. I forgot
All
exactly what I put it as a footnote for.
right, let me.
Oh, you also see right above it is the point about the extremely subjective view, and I actually made the whole point there. You see,
So
about
let's.
abstract properties or whatever.
Yeah, so this is 3 here. Let
Is it? I
me.
don't. Are you? Is
This
that
is
where I can't see?
you can't see.
That's not where I put it. Put
Okay, let me go down further. Actually, yeah. So let me go up here. This is the first mention of a.
yeah, and you see in the second footnote there, right above it.
Mhm.
The
Idealism, imperialism. Yes, I had seen this one earlier.
Yeah, that's the point from Harvey. You see.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But if you search, like go to go to the sixth one, right, and then
Oh,
go up from there.
so let's see. Um,
Say 1 out of 6. You see,
um,
in your Control F,
oh,
Control
I
F.
see. Yes. This, this.
No, it's not that one.
Um, let's see. This is Swenson.
No, it's
Uh,
not that one.
let's see. We have. Let's see. Active
No,
measurement.
it's not there. I guess I didn't put it. I didn't mark it like that. Never mind.
Yeah. All right.
Forget that. Just look at the footnote.
All right.
I mean, there was also an interesting one you scrolled over about the Archimedean point there. An
Um,
Archimedean point is a very. I mean, that was an interesting thing that I found.
that if he had a fulcrum and a lever long enough, he could move the Earth. The Archimedean point is a point outside from which a different, perhaps objective or true picture of something is obtainable. A view might be a view of time outside of time, a view of science from elsewhere, a view of spatial reality from nowhere. The term refers to the great mathematician Archimedes, who
That's from the
supposedly
Wikipedia article,
lift
right?
the
So
Earth.
you see how that connects to the point about
The
like
Greek.
an ideal source of x, like an x-less source of x. Remember that point I was making?
Yes.
That was like a different point I was making about like generalizing, like this
Mhm.
whole like positing some unentailed, like the whole unentailed entailer, is just some like ideal source of x, x-less source of x. Like the explanation must terminate in something that's like that just totally lacks the explanatum.
I mean, people, this is something that people talk about. Like, they'll say, like, oh, from, like, if I were to just see it from this ideal point of view.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. And
mhm.
I found it like surprising. Like, oh, Archimedean point, like that's actually a thing. You know?
You know what? Maybe this can be tied into the Greek history that we were talking about because it
Yeah.
kind of shows, like, a seminal split.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, the Procrustean bed point.
mhm,
Procrustean. Like that. That's also a really important point.
mhm. How do you pronounce it or
P
spell it?
R O C.
Pro, yeah,
Pro.
procrustean.
Yeah. You see
Uh,
where I said that a bunch of times.
Yeah, let me go through them.
You know the story about Procrustes.
I don't.
I mean, Binswanger brings it up when he's talking about impossible standards.
Oh, I think I do then.
Yeah,
Um,
The Procrustean fallacy is just
yeah.
holding an impossible standard,
Oh, yeah, no, I do. All right.
trying
So,
to trying to fit something to an impossible standard and destroying it. I mean, like Procrustes has his bed, and then he like hacks and like stretches people who don't fit his bed to fit his bed. You know what I mean?
so this is Lloyd. All right. So I'm
It's like
gonna
it's in the like Legend of Theseus or something. I don't think it's called that.
the ship of Perseus.
No, not Theseus. Perseus. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the Legend of Perseus. Good.
Yes,
Uh,
Perseus.
I remember. I read that in elementary school.
Yeah,
So
The Procrustes thing originates from Legend of Perseus.
yeah, so let me try to see if I can find
No, yeah, go to 3. Go to the footnote 3 again. Sorry.
Yeah.
we're definitely read.
All right. Let me go back to
The
3.
Greeks staring up at the stars.
Yes. So the ancient Greeks, gazing at the stars with no tools to truly understand them, deduced from their apparent unchanging perfection that the heavens were the realm of the divine, the world of forms, as Plato would later call it, while the earth, ever changing and chaotic, was a pale, corrupt imitation, a pale blue dot. The earth, and by extension humanity, was cast as inherently flawed, impure, and inferior. To exist on earth was to be mirrored in imperfection, trapped in a realm of decay and sin. The stars, in their silent constancy, became symbols of an unreachable purity, a reminder that true perfection trapped in a realm of decay and sin. The star. Oh yeah. A reminder that true knowledge, true goodness, true being resided somewhere beyond our grasp, in a realm we could never touch. Everything we understood was folded into this narrative. Things fell down because the earth was the lowest, the dirtiest place in the cosmos, the natural dumping ground of the
That was
universe.
literally their explanation of gravity.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, it isn't, right? It is, right?
Oh
That's
my God.
so
Yeah,
bleak.
this shit
Jesus.
is gold too. This can be integrated into the
Yeah, it's
short
pretty.
history.
Yeah, I thought so.
This worldview is tragically embodied in On the Movement of the Earth, where one character, tormented by religious indoctrination, refuses to look at the sky, recalling the priest's words, "The night sky is beautiful because we're looking up at it from this fallen world." Whew. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Um,
you see the links there. Look at it. Look at the links. Like when I
yes.
put the links, like click off at the links and look. Oh, it can't. Oh wow. Just search it up or on the movement of the Earth, chapter 9.
On the movement of the
Was that the
earth.
first link? Did I say chapter 9 first?
Yeah, well, let me,
Because I was referring basically to specific. Yeah, I put chapter 5 first, but what did I say? Yeah, the natural dumping ground of the universe. They say that they talk about that in chapter 5, how that was their explanation of gravity, and they were like so like confident about it, like this was doctrine, you know. Like, why do things fall down? Well, it's because Earth is the dirtiest, lowest place in the universe. It's the natural dumping ground, you know.
let's,
We're
Everything
all
just
fucking
falls here because we're at the
losers.
lowest place in the universe.
let
But yeah,
me, let,
forget chapter 5. Go to chapter 9 is the important one.
all right, let me go
In
to,
chapter 5, you just see this priest guy talking about that exactly. Like the fucking Earth is just like the lowest place in the universe. When some guy asked why do things fall down.
God, I feel dirty for looking at this shit. Um,
Yeah, scroll down until you see all the eyes.
all right, let me, page 1, page 2, page
Just
3.
scroll. You can scroll.
Oh, you can scroll? I can't, it's not
Oh,
letting
I
me.
guess you can't.
Um,
There, yeah, you missed it.
oh,
You missed it.
this,
Go back, go
or
back. That, yeah.
that. See.
Oh, why is it in Spanish?
I
You're
don't
looking at the
know.
Spanish version.
Is
But
there a way that I can?
yeah, you just you find the right one. Like this isn't the right link.
Well, obviously, because the one you had was not. Uh, let me just put English, man.
No, just go. You see the one you clicked, the one you clicked
Yes.
already. Go
Mhm.
to like the homepage for it, and there will be an English version. You're just on the Spanish version. Like
All right.
you see on the right side there, you had it.
Yeah. Let me just
No, bro. Go back.
no
Go
go back,
back.
dude. I don't know how this
On the right
dumb.
side, you had it open before, but you closed it. There was like
Yeah.
on the right side the
Uh-huh.
thing,
Dude, what the fuck?
Stratino, the tech whiz.
Dude, no, it's just this fucking anime shit.
bro.
This
It was
dumbass.
the bar on the right side. You could have just clicked on
Yeah,
the bar.
I don't know. Let me try this shit again. Um,
Is it
this
in English?
Ah,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, is that in English? It's in English.
Yeah, but this is chapter 5.
Well, just fucking go to chapter 9 from there.
All right. Let me
Can you open? Go. Can you scroll up? Scroll up.
Oh,
Click
I
the
see.
menu. Menu.
Oh,
Go to
dude.
chapter 9.
All right. God damn it.
Chapter 9.
Oh, God.
Page 10.
All right. Page.
There. Oh no, page 9.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
page. Oh my God. Let's see. This is the reality brought forth
Oh
through a
yeah,
history.
go to the previous page. Yeah, he's talking about like this his bleak ass view, you know?
So let me see. Oh my God, I hate manga. Let's see, but
Oh
I
man.
think so. Thanks. Let's see. You'll be able to meet with them once more when you too go to heaven. I don't know it myself in great detail, but your family should have been able to receive their divine judgment
It's
and
right to
dimly.
left, by the way.
Oh yeah, fuck, they're dumb. What I've lost as of late is actually my hope in this world. Oh, let's see. Um, until a while back, I've been condemning this very world that took away my beloved family. But when I tried thinking rationally, it was also on this very world that I was able to meet with my family. To that end, I didn't want to loathe the place that I was able to spend time with my family. Uh, it may be difficult, but I would like to affirm my belief in this world. Duh! I
It's
know
like
it's cruel.
look what he says, bro. It's crazy.
My God, I know it's cruel for me to say this, but I don't think that's possible. Oh my God. Let's see. Let's keep going. Um,
Look at him.
hope.
He's like, bro, don't you know? Like this is just what it is. This is how it is, bro.
Hope only can be found in heaven. This world is stained beyond repair. The reason why is because God made it so. This is the reality brought forth through a history by smart people. Duh! Have you given up all hope in this world of ours? Yes. The only thing awaiting us in this world is loss, and our lives here are so fleeting that the only thing we should be worrying about is whether or not we'll be in heaven or hell. My God, that's
Yeah.
rough. Hope's only in heaven.
Yeah. Just you could go back to the notes, but I take the important quotes from him here.
Hmm.
Because I thought it was such a good way of expressing like this Japanese guy, like who wrote the manga, like he was expressing it pretty well. I think
Hmm. So let
I
me.
really liked Orb on the movement for that reason.
So
Yeah,
let me.
just continue where you were, I guess.
Mhm. I'm gonna. All right. Um, but this world is filthy. God made it that way. This was concluded by the righteous, he declares, convinced that the earth's
Yeah, that was
existence.
in another translation apparently, where you saw smart people. It says this was concluded by the righteous, by
Oh.
the smart people. They concluded this.
He declares, convinced that earthly existence is a punishment, a trial of inherent unworthiness. His final chill. Like, this reminds me, do you know the story of Job in the Bible?
Not really.
It's that God just like fucking punishes Job and makes his life hell to as like a faith test.
Yeah.
Uh, it's that kind of shit is what it reminds me of. His final chilling conclusion, loss is all that awaits us on Earth, is illustrated hauntingly as he stands beneath a sky filled with monsters, all-seeing eyes, watching, judging, as if the very cosmos itself despises him. This is kind of like the malevolent universe premise.
Right.
Um, the tragedy of this belief system cannot be overstated. I feel like I would not go into the malevolent universe premise through this, but I would certainly mention that it is downstream of this kind of philosophy. Um, like a footnote. Um, let's see. The tragedy of this belief system cannot be overstated. Imagine standing beneath such a sky, believing that the beauty above you is not for you to understand or reach, that it exists as a constant reminder of your own impurity, that the very idea of striving for knowledge or perfection is inherently beyond human reach. We are born sinful, inherently putrid, the human body a prison, the senses deceptive, and our earthly lives mere shadows of some higher pure reality. This wasn't just metaphysics in the abstract. It shaped how people saw themselves and their place in the world. So much HBTV.
Yeah.
The ultimate tragedy is that this dualistic framework didn't just distort our understanding of the cosmos, it crushed the human mind. It told generations that their existence was a mistake, that their bodies were dirty vessels, that their minds were incapable of touching truth, even as science began to dismantle these notions on the development of thermodynamics, ecology, geometry, geology, archaeology, paleontology, and astronomy in the 19th century, all converging on the realization that natural forms changed rather than remaining static. These scars of this worldview remained. The
The scars of
psychological Oh yeah, the scars of this worldview remain. The psychological inertia of separating mind from body, heaven from earth, still lingers, subtly what the fuck? Why can't I pronounce perpetuating? Suddenly perpetuating the idea that we are somehow alienated from reality itself. The real tragedy isn't just that people once believed this, it's that in many ways we still do. Wow. Gotta find a new example that's not anime, but
yeah. But also the quote in more Nat Brandon notes. You remember that quote. You don't gotta go over it again. But you
yeah,
remember it.
yeah. Um, so let's
But
see.
those three are like connected, you see? They're
Yeah,
kind of
it's. I
check.
think that
Also
the.
I mean the Nat Brandon quote is really powerful, right?
Mhm,
About how if they're like this is the only world to perceive, you know what I mean?
mhm,
Or whatever. Like I forget the way he says it. He says it so well. Like you know what I mean?
mhm. But it is like a. It is an acknowledgement of like this is the only world you have, and you're just like fucking throwing it away.
Yeah,
Like it's just it's
because it is
evil
what
to
it
you.
is.
Yes,
Because it
it's.
is what it is. Because like it's not identityless. Like you want it to be identityless.
Mhm.
You want identity like less like means of accessing the identityless world of forms. You know.
And actually, I no. Okay, so the reason that Brandon's approach to it is so important is because I think what Brandon saves that can be easily misinterpreted is like this notion that these people just like they want to be evil. It's like, yeah, I'm just here to
Right.
be
Right.
evil. I
Right.
think that Brandon kind of approaches it in the way of like, you know, no, this is just the only world you have, and you're just like you're tossing it away like this, and I like that approach
Oh.
so much
Oh.
better.
Oh. Oh. And especially what Binswinger says in like the faith I speak to the brain video
Mm-hmm.
about why people and like a couple of his other videos on like
Mm-hmm.
morality versus like God and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's talking about like why people even feel like they feel this like they really want this to be true. Why do they want this to be true? Like they believe it on faith, but why? Right? Because they have this fear of independent judgment, right? They want to be able to appeal to some mystic authority and just like defer their own responsibility, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
independent judgment. You get what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
thought that was a really important point. It's about the fear of judgment, not just being judged, right? But of making judgments, being
Yes, doing the
responsibility for
judgment.
them. Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that like
And Nat
it's
Brandon really goes way deeper into that.
mm-hmm. I think that like what can be integrated here if we take all of this together as a whole.
I mean, you
I
see how
think
all of that's going to be really important for my book. Like that's why I brought all of that together. You know,
I think
I saw the connections there. I was like,
I think it can
okay,
be incredibly important for this video because
yeah,
there's like there's such a important thing to add of like, this is where this philosophy leads to. It's like you don't want to judge. You don't want to, like
right.
it's a safe
You
haven. You
don't
want to be
want to
safe.
have to judge. You know,
Hmm.
you don't want to have to know. You don't want to have to live. You know,
Hmm.
you don't want to have to exist. You know?
And then like Brandon swoops in. He's just like, "Well, it's a shame." And I just think that's masterful. That like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
well,
The point about like a value not pursued is not an unreal value. It's just not a value that will be obtained for that by that person.
yes. So I'm gonna add in my notes here. Quotes from Brandon and Ben's Winger on topic of
Fear of judgment, fear of
yes,
independence.
fear of independent judgment. All right. So, what did I not spell judgment wrong? Fuck you, Grammarly. But let's see.
That
If I
becomes a lot of usually like the basic motivation for most people. You know.
mm-hmm. See. Um, let's
They
see.
don't want to be basically accountable, right? They want
Mm-hmm.
someone else to be accountable, right? They're scared of being accountable to what they're saying or what they're thinking, right? You get what I'm saying? Oh.
All right, I'm back. I got to get back on my phone because for some reason my
You,
computer
you get
died.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
It's,
heard.
it's being accountable to their own. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what responsibility means, you know? It's about accountability.
Mm-hmm. So they don't want to account for themselves. Like
Yeah.
there's someone to be like glossed over, glazed over. Which
Yeah.
is, let me see.
Yeah, it's like remember that point I said about fewer concerns?
Mm-hmm.
Like a life with fewer concerns or whatever?
Yes, like the simple life, like I don't want to like achieve anything. I just want to go like um, live the
But
simple life.
where does that come from? Right? And
Mhm.
Brandon really goes like Brandon is wonderful on that. You know, where does that even come from? Because I think that's a very important point, you know? Because it's so
Mhm.
deeply ingrained in a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
That
And
it feels like an attack like personally on them when when you tell them, you know, like to check their premises. You know what I'm saying?
mhm. And I think I've interacted with these people. Like I live in the South and I live in the Bible Belt where a lot of these people like live where they're like afraid of the world. Like it's
Yeah.
too they think it's too big for them, that like they don't belong in it, that it isn't for them, and
Right.
that they're terrified of what's
Right.
going on in the
Right. And
world.
that's what a new objective is all about. Right?
Mhm.
Seeing yourself as part of the world you're striving to know.
Which relates all the way back to impredicativity, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing to write about because that we can loop.
That's why a new objective is so powerful, bro.
Mhm.
You're part of the world you're striving to know, bro. There's nothing to be afraid of. You know?
Part of the world you're striving to know. I really like what we're getting here, what we're getting at. Like starting with a short history lesson, then getting into like the science
Yeah,
of
you see exactly how I was like thinking when I was putting together like how I
Mhm.
wanted to start my book. This is exactly like what I was circling around. You know, all of
what
this
I
stuff.
What I like is that now it seems like this outline is participating in its own definition, that it completes its own loop in a way. Like we circled all the way back around to impredicativity, even going down to like the more specific avenues of this. We get to spiral all the way back.
Yeah,
So
you're not waiting outside the world. Like you're not trying to get inside reality from outside. You're not stuck outside reality trying to get into it, from nowhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mm, let's see. Treat reality as for you. Yeah.
Yeah, benevolent
no-
universe premise.
Yes, sir.
Wow, this could be a very beautiful video to, like talk about the missing link of impredicativity and how impredicativity just like even starting,
I
here,
mean,
it
it just
poisons
connects so many
everything.
things.
Yes, it poisons everything all the way down to you being like the world isn't for me, but then you get impredicativity and it leads all the way down to, the world is for me. It connects
It's because
everything.
reality is
Hmm.
imperative. No, it's non-formalizable, right?
Wow. And then I'm gonna put let's see, loops all the way back around. Let's see how impredicativity um leads to a
Oh man, you're about to go crazy when I say this.
what?
Remember? Wait,
Yeah.
remember what I said when I kept bringing about what the importance for impredicativity is and how Peikoff was saying when he's doing his lectures on induction, he's always about like there's this just this new mode or principle of inference that we just need to discover, for induction,
Yeah. Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And that's why it's doing this, bro. That's why impredicativity is doing this because that's what it is.
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah, like we were talking
You
about
see it?
how like you loop all the way back around, it comes to a complete loop, and then that's the special form of inference.
Right.
Wow.
That's why
See,
impredicativity is doing this for us because that's what it is. It's that this entirely unheard of, entirely unthought of principle of inference that Peikoff was talking about for induction.
new principle of inference, of which Peacock talked about. Holy shit, we're making
Like
like
I thought you were gonna go crazy when I just said that, bro. 'Cause
I no, I
it hit
am
me.
going crazy. It
It
just
hit me
sounds
like a
I'm
lightning
having to
bolt.
type it all out.
He's an
I
integration
have to.
shock.
Yeah, yeah. You tell me. How do you feel? What do you think about what
Well,
I just said?
yeah, no, because like the first thing I thought about is like when this drops, it'll go fucking crazy. Because imagine like being like that we figured out the principle of inference by which induction relies on. Like we've put together like this principle of impredicativity, and it solves this issue that like we've been kind of tickling around, where it's just like, oh well, we
Yeah,
like,
Peacock especially, he just like tickles around it so much. He's like,
yeah,
man, it's just like this one thing, like this. It's like this looping, this non-terminating loop. Just something's going on here, man.
it's like there's been so much difficulty in talking about induction because
Yeah,
of like, a lot of it has been treated as linear, like you just like,
right, and that's
you're
exactly the point Peacock makes when he's bringing this up. He's like, yeah, the history, like the whole problem of induction is literally just because they were trying to make induction behave like deduction, right? When what we needed was like this just a entirely unheard of like new principle of inference because induction is not deduction.
mm-hmm. So let me put, we need an entirely new principle of inference because the
Peacock
past,
talks about this all the time whenever he talks about induction.
let's see, the past history of philosophy, even Ayn Rand falling prey to it, is the principle or is the idea of induction as a form of linear local inference? Because I want to add
Induction
local.
needs impredicative entailment.
I also want to add that it was treated as local because, like Rand, for example, and many others treated as like you just see it, and all you're seeing is just like a little bit of it right now. You're not seeing the whole picture. What you're seeing and inferencing on is just this local situation. Um. Wow. Wow, we got a good thing going so far.
Yeah,
We've got.
okay. But I want to hear how you felt when it hit you when I just told you that. Like it hit me like a lightning bolt. So how did you feel when I just said that, bro?
No, because it helped complete the whole video. Like it helped complete the
Like
outline.
you were saying it, you were like, oh, like impredicativity is like just making this loop all the way back. We're making all these integrations just with this idea of just based on the idea of impredicativity. It's just
Oh, we did. Oh,
connect
we
these things.
induced it.
Huh?
Oh, we. Oh, I get what you're saying now. No, we induced this
Yeah.
directly. We came all the.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Oh, okay. Now it hit me because I
Yeah,
wasn't thinking about it.
you were saying that, and then it just hit me like a lightning bolt. Like, yo, this is exactly what I was talking about. It's doing this for us. It's doing this for you because it's the new principle of inference that Peikoff was talking about.
Yeah. No. This. And oh wow, how sweet for like this.
It finally hit you.
Yeah, how sweet for this new like integration about this like principle of induction, this new information about induction to be about impredicativity. It's like a love letter.
Yeah, but you saw it. Like you did. I guess you
Yeah.
didn't see it at first. Like you were saying that. You remember
No.
what you were saying? You were like, it's just like helping us circle all the way back. Like we keep
Yeah.
circling back
Yeah. No.
because
I
of impredicativity. You know?
I didn't see it at first, and then I was like, oh, this is what induction is. Like we're
Yes.
Wow, like we're looking at everything, and then we're tying it back to the whole, and tying this back to the whole, tying it back to the whole, and then looking back, like we're
And then just realizing like, wow, just the idea of impredicativity is allowing us to do all this crazy like inductive work. And then I was like, boom, it hit me like a lightning bolt. Like this is what I've been saying from the beginning, bro.
wow. Yeah, no, like what we're doing is we're getting all of the information, we're extrapolating all the information, detecting all of it, and then we're putting it all together, integrating it, and then taking a step back, like I had talked about with like the magnifying glass versus the telescope. Like how induction is like the telescope, like we're
Yeah,
gazing
we've
out.
talked about it a bit. I just want to like when I first said it at first, I said it as sort of like this is something to look into. Like when you remember,
Mhm.
I would always say like
Mhm.
this is something to look into. Like Peikoff was saying, like this is something to look into. You know?
Mhm.
And it's sort of like we just finally made the like big induction about it, you know?
Mhm.
Seeing you
You get what
guys
I'm
work
saying?
is so satisfying.
I know it is satisfying because it doesn't fit in the square hole. It's like it fits seamlessly to where it looks like it's just the clean surface. How
Yeah,
great.
I didn't at first I didn't make too broad, assertions like
Mhm.
impredicativity is going to solve all of this. I said some things
Mhm.
like that, right? But I was still saying this is just something we need to look into. Like even Peikoff was saying, we should look into this, right?
Mhm.
For these reasons, right? It's the new principle of inference, whatever. And
Mhm.
we want to see how it is that, right? How it works like that,
Mhm.
right? And we've been seeing it. We've been seeing it right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so it's been a lot of identifying the implications of impredicativity. Like,
Right.
what
I'm
is
saying that
implied?
we didn't just deduce it. We didn't just
Yeah.
deduce it for me. We didn't just like from me saying that it's the new principle of inference. Like from the initial part, I didn't mean to say that and then try and work it out how it is
Mhm.
that, right?
Mhm.
Like we just made the induction right now. It wasn't a deduction. I just
Yeah.
how it just hit me right now and I brought it back, right? And it let us loop all the way around. Right?
Yeah.
You saw
I mean,
it? We weren't
yeah,
trying to
no.
deduce from it to work it out how it is the new principle of inference.
Well, what I think benefited us is that we weren't too hasty about it. Like we
Yeah.
didn't treat it as like the Messiah.
Yeah.
Which I think was super important because otherwise I think we would have made a lot of false conclusions about impredicativity. But no, we were just taking it to wherever it was going to take us, and I
Mhm.
think that is I think that itself is part of the method of just like taking it where it
Yes.
leads to you and then looping all the way back.
Because the threads are there. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
And
It's the very relationships among things, like, that's the very means by which we know them, right? Is the very
Mm-hmm.
relationships by which those things exist, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
even Peikoff talks about this, right? Like the units we're integrating into units, like the relationships among the units are relationships that exist like in reality. They're not just like, you know, subjective. They're not made up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
like we can just keep going, right, and then loop back in a lawful way, right? Because there's all these lawful connections, right? That don't really they don't need us to construct them. We don't need to construct them like from like mechanically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I
You know
think
what I'm saying?
that
Yeah.
Deductively.
if I could just say something about like the process that you guys just had, I think it would be a good
Yeah.
idea to place an emphasis on that process and then like at the end be like, well, haven't you noticed that we've been able to do all of this with impredicativity? And then you'll be like, well, we just found this new rule of inference or whatever. Like we just found
Well, we
this.
didn't find it. We already understood that this was basically the new principle of inference that Peikoff was talking about, right?
Right.
We already had that understanding,
Yeah,
right?
you
It
say that a
just
lot. That he
it
was
didn't
right
it
there.
it wasn't fully grasped yet how that
Yeah.
plays out. How it works. You know?
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about it because I was wondering whether it should be explicitly mentioned or if it should. I'd have to find a way if we were to explicitly mention that the process was arrived using impredicativity as a principle. I'd have to find a way to mention it to where it's not like cheesy,
Yeah.
where it's like, "Hey
Yeah,
guys,
like
don't you see?"
I think a good way to do it would be to like let everybody that's watching it also have that kind of like eureka moment, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it only worked right now for us because we had the context. We
Mm-hmm.
had the requisite context. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Is just like you could try
Like
to
even
put in the
Stratino didn't
context.
didn't understand what I was getting at first until I put it right in his face, like, bro, come on. This is what I was saying. And he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I think that it would take a lot of people a minute. So I think that the hinting would be more subtle. I don't think you have to like explicitly mention, hey, we you see this principle of
No, it's
impredicativity
like
being
it's like
used?
I've been hinting at it. I've just been saying, like, Peikoff's been saying we need to look into this, like, as we need this new principle of inference for induction or whatever. And the way he describes it is basically word for word, like in predicativity.
But yeah, no, I thought about it, but I think that would be great for like somebody would be watching it and they'd be like, oh, yeah, and then maybe they'll think about it and then they'll realize it maybe like one fishing afternoon. It'd be like,
I mean,
oh,
maybe I don't know. People who will actually think about it, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, you
Yeah.
see how it even itself participated in
yeah.
itself. It's like in predicativity itself already has like this massive like uh integrative power, right?
Mhm.
Just that concept, and us just like messing around with that concept, just talking about it, figuring out what it can help us understand, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
just like how you said
Just
with
doing that,
thermodynamics, that
we
has a lot of
we were
experimental
seeing
stuff.
how it was just like allowing us to loop and loop and loop and loop so easily, like never before. You know what I mean? Like never before. And you were just talking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. You remember what you were saying, bro?
Yeah, no, it was just like we were talking about Peikoff talking about this new form of inference, and then oh yeah, that's impredicativity. I was like, oh well, we're doing that.
No, what you were talking about. You were talking about how like impredicativity is allowing us to do all these looping around like like
Yes,
easily, you know what I mean? Just the concept of impredicativity, right?
yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just like playing around with the concept of impredicativity, just like doing all the stuff with it, using it to help us understand certain things, is just allowing us to loop and loop and loop so easily, like never before. You know what I mean? You get what
Zoom,
I'm saying?
zoom. Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
And then I was just thinking about what you were saying. I was like, wait, this is exactly what Peikoff was saying. That it's the new principle of inference for induction.
So yeah, it's like it's allowing you to spiral, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
right.
Hmm.
Like never before, like just like crazy.
Damn.
And that's how I saw it so quickly, like, yo. You know?
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to like apply that to like I don't know, like reading and stuff like that.
I mean, I've already applied it. Just look at how I talk about how I like go about reading stuff, you know?
Hmm.
In a non-linear fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I talk all about like the spiral theory of knowledge and spiraling back when I'm talking about how I go about reading stuff, you know?
Yeah, because obviously I've said that I wanted to write a paper, so like I've also been trying to figure out a good
And you know,
strategy for
whenever
that.
Peikoff's talking about the spiral theory of knowledge, the spiral theory of knowledge is really important here. He's saying, oh, there's something like there's some impredicativity stuff going on here, you know?
Hmm.
There's some impredicative craziness going on here. That's it's like every time you see it in understanding objectivism, whenever he's answering a question, he's like, "Well, really, the spiral theory of knowledge is really important here." It's because he
Oh,
wants to say that there's impredicativities here, you know?
Yeah, he wants to say
wow.
there's a loopiness to it, yeah.
Yeah, there's loopiness to it.
Fruitin' and looping.
And
Yeah,
that's the spiral theory right there. That's what it is.
yeah. I don't think they could have ever gotten to the spiral theory though without the first like having their view of objectivity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The view of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
objectivity is what seeded impredicativity, the notion of impredicativity before it was ever named in objectivism, right?
Hmm.
Just the view of objectivity just seeded impredicativity, right?
Yes, because oh yes.
You see it?
Well, it's particularly because objectivity for them was not context independence. It was particularly incorporating the context
Accounting
of
for the requirements of knowledge. The
yeah
requirements of knowledge are no less real facts than any other facts of reality.
is incorporating all. It was incorporating the whole.
Yes.
Um, like what I can know by my own
Yeah.
requirements for knowledge.
Binswanger has a good lecture on the objective versus the intrinsic versus the subjective. You know, it's like only very few times you see it very like distilled, right? Where it'll be like something along the lines of, you know, it's the objectivist view of objectivity is as opposed to the exclusion of the observer, it's the inclusion of the observer in the same world as, and so no less real than what is to be observed. You know?
Hmm. And I think that when we're talking about like the let's step outside of reality, I think that we should you know give that objectivist notion of objectivity in parallel. That would be relevant here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just like
it will
the
lay the scene
objectivist.
for it.
I don't think they have the whole like you see how Rosen builds it up so nicely in Essays on Life Itself. I know you've been reading into that.
I have been reading it actually. I've been reading it a lot.
Yeah, what do you think about how he understands objectivity? Like it's way better than any other like any actual like avowed objectivist, right?
I fucking love how Rosen explains subjectivity. I think he explains
Yeah.
subjectivity better than any objectivist.
Yeah, but also objectivity.
Also objectivity, but subjectivity, I think like he has it down so
Yeah.
well.
Well, I mean, Binswanger too. Binswanger and Peikoff. They understand subjective is just the arbitrary, the
Mhm.
baseless. It's just base. You know, it's. But they don't. They what they don't understand is that the arbitrary is subject. Only the arbitrary is subject to arbitrariness, right? It's equivocal with the arbitrary. Binswanger did understand this a little bit, right? But the part he didn't understand was that there's no base. Well, he did understand that there's you can have an infinite number of arbitrary claims on the same non basis, right? But I
Mhm.
think it's best to say it also like the basis is what gives you some standard to prefer one claim over another, right? An arbitrary claim is a baseless claim. It has no basis to prefer it over any other arbitrary claim. You know, to decide, you have to decide one over the other. You have no basis to. It's just completely arbitrary. You know?
Mhm. I'm gonna write in my notes here that like a good segue into the objectivist notion of objectivity is to like, we're providing Rosen and Harvey-Leto's explanation on
Yeah.
how the like quote unquote objective view is actually incredibly subjectivist, and then we're like, okay, well then where is the what is the real
Yeah.
objective view?
Also, I don't know if you've seen the whole argument Rosen gives there, where it's
Mhm.
um, like all these attempts to basically do a clear dividing line where it's like you basically fractionate a natural language into just all syntax on one side and semantics on the other side, right?
Mhm.
Like if you can do this without losing any information, right? But you can't,
Mhm.
right? And he talks about how like he relates this to like the so-called like distinction between objective and subjective, and just like you haven't seen this argument where like the more porous the partition becomes,
Yes, I was just
the
thinking
more
about
that's
that.
admitted on the objective side, the more porous the partition becomes.
I think so, but
You don't remember?
not.
I think I talked
We
about that
talked
in the
about it, yeah.
was that in the unifying principle video?
No, no, no. That was in our video on syntax and semantics and affordances as dispositions, I
Oh,
believe.
was
We
it?
read a lot of Rosen's book.
Or was it earlier than that?
I mean, we read a lot of Rosen's book in that. I don't think that was in your thing about Thales.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but I remember bringing up that argument for a very important reason. And like, I was like, okay, this is going to be important. This is very important.
Well, you gotta understand though, because our conversation about Thales happened right after the video about affordances as dispositions. So you might be like mixing it up because it happened on the same day.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it was the same day, right? But yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Also,
Um,
I mean, in the chapter in Essays on Life Itself, I think it's chapter 8, or it's the chapter on syntax and semantics.
I haven't gotten that far.
But the
Um,
chapter on syntax and semantics,
yeah,
like,
you could just
like
search
the the
porous. I
f-
mean,
the final section. No, yeah, but it'll be that porous, right?
mhm.
But it's also combined with another argument. So in like the chapter on syntax and semantics, and it's like the last section in that chapter, right?
Mhm.
Where he talks about, okay, the conclusions here, or like we're going to talk about the division between syntax and semantics or whatever, like or you can make this split, right? where all the syntax falls on one side and all the semantics falls on the other, right?
Yeah.
If you can make the split, right? And whether, like, I forget exactly, like, there's two things that he goes over. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very important for this distinction, right, between objective and subjective, and like the extremely subjective view, right? Because the view there is that, you know, we can just say like, oh, it's context independence, da 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 da. That's objective, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like observer independence, whatever. That's subjective. This is also going to be very tied into measurement problems. I think that's why I think it was earlier. That's why I think it was in a different video where we were talking about measurement problems.
I'm not quite sure, but I do definitely remember the argument.
You remember? Were you
Yeah.
there?
I might have watched it while I was doing some work.
I think yeah. So just find it again because
Mhm.
I brought it. See why I brought it up too, because I brought it up for an important reason,
Mhm. Let me
for
see.
like a similar reason why I was just bringing it up now.
Let me see if I can.
But that'll be important. Keep just put a note on that. Like,
Yeah.
find where G brings up the
Mhm.
partition, objective, subjective, syntax, semantics, or observer, right? Where it's like it's about measurement problems, right? Trying to get the measurement on the objective side of the partition. Remember?
Mhm.
You remember that?
Yeah, vaguely.
That's what it was about, right?
Mhm.
And that's why the partition actually doesn't work, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's why it's arbitrary. It's arbitrary. It's the epistemic cut, right? It has to
Mhm.
be placed somewhere, but it can be placed anywhere. That's what I mean. Schrodinger's cat, right? It forces you to place it somewhere, but you can place it anywhere, right? And there's all these different consequences that follow from where you place it. And Patsy goes over that a lot, right?
Yes, I remember all about Schrodinger's cat. That was one of the earlier discussions that we
Right,
had.
right, yeah, yeah. That was in one of
Really?
the earlier ones, I
Oh,
think, right?
well, not even that. It was years ago that we talked about that.
Oh no,
I
and it definitely wasn't. Then it definitely wasn't what I'm talking about.
Well, I think we've been talking about this for a while because I remember that
No, I
it might have been with
definitely wasn't
Eddie.
talking about this back then.
It might have been Eddie. I remember Eddie and I were talking about Schrodinger. And
Yeah,
this
I'm
problem.
talking about Patsy's discussion of things like Schrodinger's cat and Maxwell's demon just being basically like they're forcing you to place the epistemic cut somewhere, you know?
Oh yeah, no, Maxwell's demon. I remember Eddie and I actually talked about like because Eddie got in an argument with somebody who was like, "Oh, well, do you know about Maxwell's demon?" And then we're like, "No." And then he explained Maxwell's demon, and we were like, "What the fuck is this shit? You just made up a demon."
Yeah, I would recommend looking at uh what Patsy says there and what
Mhm.
Norton says there. I have Norton's papers also in the Patsy collection here in general. I'll put it. Here's the collection of Patsy's papers, but there's also a collection of Norton's papers in there. Norton talks
Mhm.
all about the the Maxwell's demon thing, and like it's really like important to understand, right? Because it looks like a violation of the second law, but that's only because the measurement is taking place outside of the formalism, you know?
Yes, because I remember.
Because that's where the energy, like that's where the entropy production is happening. That's where the dissipation is happening, right? Is outside.
Mhm.
The measurement is happening, right? So it looks like a violation of the second law only if you elevate formalism to ontology, you know?
Yeah, because like it only makes sense to show that the second law doesn't apply if you have something that can do the work for free.
Right.
Like, you know, like even in Maxwell's demon, like the immediate contradiction is that there's no work being done, but then the demon opens the door.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, this being done is just outside. It's just unentailed by what's going on inside, right?
That's dualism at its finest, I guess.
It's just formalism, how formalism works, right? All the entailment comes from outside, but what's inside can't entail the source of its entailment.
Mm.
Yeah, a dualism is probably more when you try to elevate that to reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm just thinking about
Yeah,
like
I mean,
just like a
obviously, if you try to elevate that to reality, then you're gonna have a dualism because you have some unentailed entailer somehow, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have you have some missing pieces here. You know what I mean? Because there's always unentailed components in a formalism or machine or whatever, as Rosen talks about in Life Itself.
Yeah. And impredicativity is a great way to kind of gatekeep formalisms, It's like,
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's when we're like, I was using it to explain dualism, right?
Mhm.
The whole partition thing.
Mhm.
I was using it to explain what was going on there with dualism, right? And splitting the world into on the basis of satisfying some supposed property or not, some a priori criteria or not, you know.
Mhm.
mm.
But yeah, that'll be really important if we're gonna go into objective, subjective stuff and like
Mhm.
the wrong views of objectivity, right? Because I mean, this is really important for Rosen to go into, this whole partition between objective and subjective, right, is a measurement problem. It involves a measurement problem,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, got that down on the nose.
Yeah, and that'll be also really important because I mean, the whole argument for impredicativity being the only alternative to an unacceptable infinite regress, right? That whole argument. Let's just call it Rosen's infinite regress, right? Or
Mhm.
Rosen's measurement argument. Let's just call it that.
Yeah, let me put
But that
it.
that whole argument there is about measurement, right?
Mhm.
And sort of like these sort of situations.
What was I gonna mention? Shit, I forgot. Oh yeah, no, I remember. Like there obviously the mentioning of like infinity as a surefire way to see like a mark of error is something
Oh
that's
yeah.
not gonna sit well with all objectivists because you know a lot of them think of infinity as like a floating abstraction, like not necessarily because I remember I had a whole argument with a bunch of objectivists about infinity being like a sign of error, but they were like, no, but you can use infinity in like math and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, also, you remember the stuff about limiting processes,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what abstraction of as subtraction is really like when we understand it. You know, what's
Mm-hmm.
really going on here is just the taking of like an ideal limit, right? And then you can have you basically have like you can get infinitesimals. You can get these like basically these platonic forms, right?
Yes, it reminds
Yeah.
me. It reminds me of infinitely repeating decimals, like 3.3333. It's like they say, well, it terminates somewhere in
Yes.
reality, but like.
Also, Rosen talks about this. The taking of limits, right, is
Mhm.
non-formalizable. That also involves impredicativities. It's a measurement problem. The taking of limits itself cannot be until like you see Rosen talks about this, right? If you just
Mhm.
search it, and I think it's in Life Itself or Essays on Life Itself. It's in one of those. But he talks about the taking of limits and like how that's not entailed in the formalism or whatever, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's also an important point I wanted to go into when I talked about abstraction and subtraction as limiting processes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how we get to these sort of like these like identityless, you know what I mean? Like platonic forms things, right?
Yeah.
These Archimedean points, right?
Oh, and then that relates back to the history. All right, perfect. I got 4 whole pages down and lots of sources, so I think we did a real good job with this outline.
Good job.
Good.
Yeah.
And you can always hit me up to get to for anything about this, right?
Yeah, now my next task is gonna be I'm gonna be needing to read deep into all the sources that I have. I'll probably be asking you for sources and stuff.
Nice,
But
nice.
I gotta
So
get
like,
zipping. Oh,
but like I don't know. Maybe you can summarize. What do you think the general like outline is? You know?
so I'm thinking it's gonna be like the thesis is like impredicativity as the missing link here, whatever you want to call it. It's the
Well, I think
essential.
I don't know if that's like the thesis. Like I think it comes about very naturally whenever we're talking about how we're spotting a rationalist. You know?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
It's just curiously, I think that impredicativity takes a dominant role already
Right.
as like to the point where I wonder if I want it to be like how to spot a rationalist as like a separate video
Well, like
or
I said,
something.
I was thinking we can do it in like a series of videos, you know?
Mhm.
Like explaining different things in each video, you know?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
So,
Like a sort of course. Like a
oh
like a
yeah,
like a course, you know?
I think that for a course, a perfect name would be Impredicativity, the essence of the objectivist method.
I mean, yeah, you
Hmm.
guys can easily make a fucking objectivist course before Sulu.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that it kind of sounds like a cheesy name. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of Binswanger's logic, like the title of his logic course.
how we infer.
What was Binswanger's logic? Let me look up Binswanger logic. Yeah, logic, the method of reason. I always liked that name because it just
Yeah,
got
also
like
I think the Peikoff quote is actually the essence of the objectivist methodology.
hmm that works as well. Well, actually, that would work way better because it's more than just like a method.
Yeah.
Which I mean, even like impredicativity, the method of the objectivists, it could even just be called like a new objective because we related it all the way back to that when we were talking about a new objective.
Yeah, but
As,
I think it could be a more focused course on the stuff we were talking about. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I mean I still want to do the whole a new objective project. You know?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, and you see how much I'm putting into that. It's a lot more than we can ever fit in like a fucking course on YouTube. You
hmm
know? Right?
hmm Hmm.
Gonna be
So
awesome.
let's.
And like that's really what a new objective is. Like a new objective needs. Like it's like all this stuff is what a
Yeah.
new objective is about, right?
Um. But as I digress, so the point would be we're introducing like a quick history lesson, like the Greeks talking about the natural world, and I have here. Let me scroll up here in my notes. Um. Yeah, no, the notion of nature as universal principle was grasped. And then,
Yes.
we talk about that, and then we talk about, people like Archimedes, and we had the what was the other guy? He had a goofy ass name. Um da, 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 da. Checking here. Give me a minute.
Procrustes.
Oh yeah. hmm And we have
But
those two.
those are just two different things. Like Procrustes is for the impossible standards
hmm
thing. I just bring that in whenever I'm talking about impossible standards, you know?
All right.
And I'll probably bring that up early in my book too. You know, when I'm talking about like epistemic standards have to uh take into account the requirements of knowledge, right? These impossible standards like omniscience, right? Obviously, they didn't get that from reality. They didn't get that from the requirements of knowledge. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can bring in Archimedes, and we can, trace something there as like there's this divergence, something about the
Like
nature.
we can really do a whole video on just impossible standards. You know, like I'm thinking like we really
That'd be
want to
part of a course.
focus. Like a course, I really want to. We probably really want to focus on like rationalism. You know,
Mhm.
spotting rationalists. Like that's what I think we really want to focus on, right?
Mhm.
And then like we can keep like developing it with more projects, right?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
like
don't have to
Yeah.
first
exhaust.
spotting
We don't
it.
have to try. We don't have to try and exhaust everything at once, right?
First,
We
you
want to get
spot.
we want to get really the essential arguments, right? Like the main arguments, like just just talking about like the whole move to impoverishment, right? And all of that stuff. You know,
Mhm.
like the
Mhm. And
argument that rationalists like they really just need you to accept this like infinite regress, right? Like we really have to go like really in depth because like we've really come to this like very clear understanding of what the rationalist is even doing, right?
mhm. And
You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I have here in the notes that like the we start from the same uh perspective. We have to start with the same thing, that we have all the pieces, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rationalist is moving to impoverishment, or
Oh
like
yeah. We
we
d-
have all the.
we never got an attack against transcendentalism, right? That's the key. Rand never provided the sufficient like defeater of transcendentalism. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right? That's what we need to provide.
Mhm.
Transcendentalism needs to fucking be like that's the first thing we need to tackle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it just
Kill
has not been tackled.
transcendentalism.
You know, it's
Yeah.
literally the essential, like it's the main method of cognitive science, cognitivism, right?
Yeah.
Is these arguments from of arguments of impoverished I forget what it's called. The poverty of stimulus arguments,
Yeah.
right? That's what it's
Poverty of
called.
stimulus.
Right. These
Um.
are all transcendental arguments
Yes. So let's see.
for
As.
innate knowledge, right? It comes from Chomsky.
Mhm. It was that comes like Syntactica Grammatica or
Yeah.
whatever. I like made that book way
Right,
back.
but
I
it's
actually
always
read
the
that
same
book.
argument. We always see this. Like me, like I've noticed this for a long time. Like Eddie, like you can always see. Like I'm always like, bro, it's always the same argument, Eddie. Don't you see it? Like it's every time they come and they're like empiricism only has access to this, but we have all the pieces. But our theory says there's missing pieces, so something must supply the missing terms.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
dude,
bro, there's something like going on here. It's the same argument every single time,
I loved being introduced to that. I love that you introduced me to that because it is so
right?
it is
It was so
dude, it's
useful,
so useful.
Mhm.
right? So I
Yeah.
think that's what we really want to like build the whole course around is that. You know what I mean? Because you see how often it comes up, how often I'm able to just use it, right, against all these rationalists, right?
Mhm. I want to provide an example, like examples such as maybe Descartes or Kant, like how we talked about Descartes and how he
Oh
had to
well,
like
luckily
introduce.
we have a good source of examples from the previous Illich.
Oh yeah, I mean, do we want to use them?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. We want to use them
that
in the sense like where I was talking about like, see, he's making it sound really objective. You
yeah,
know,
the
he's
Mhm.
like
Christian
really good at
guy.
making it sound objective because we want like them to understand like they like the way we like say it plainly what they're doing. It sounds kind of silly when we say it plainly, right? But the
Mhm.
way they'll present it is like very like like subtle, like and they'll finesse it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Let me
Like
I
write
don't think
that.
Stratino was there when Christian was using like Hume as like the authority, right? He was like laying out the
Yeah, and
history
it's
of it all.
like no, he was there. He was there. I was like, did you see like how subtly he did it? Like when he just
Yeah.
talked about the brain, this or whatever. When he just brought up Hume,
And the
right?
billiard balls.
Yeah, so subtly. He brought in the move to impoverishment, just so subtly. He made it sound so objective, right?
Mhm.
Like just if you weren't looking out for it, you wouldn't spot it.
It's just
You know what I mean?
Hume. Yeah, you're gonna come to
Yeah.
the same determination as Hume. Yep, that's what Hume had. Like,
If you weren't looking out for it, you wouldn't spot it. But
yeah.
it's just like the rationalists. They're like boom, 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 boom. They this is what they do on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
It's their
This is
script. It's literally the script.
it's literally yeah. It's their entire argument. Their entire argument. It's their entire strategy.
Is the script. It's all the script.
So yeah, definitely look over this. Like I really converged on like the points there in that review. You know?
Writing down how like the way we say it plainly sounds almost hilarious, but the way that they've refined it over like 200 years, finessing it and
Yeah.
Yeah, they try
refining
to
it
dress
has
it up.
essentially made it to where it's incredibly difficult to spot if you're just looking at what they're saying and not what they mean.
Yeah, they dress it
Yes.
up.
Dress it up.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, like that, like you see why that should be the main focus right, of the course. You know what I mean? That whole argument, really, where I'm talking about, like, you see, like the whole argument I pinned in general, right?
Hmm.
Like I told you to look at, I pinned in general.
Yes.
That's what we should be. It should the whole thing should be built around that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you see, that's where we started here. And you see, just even explaining it, just like explaining how this whole thing works, right? It brought us into all of these topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it was for Sakura too.
I'm sorry.
Remember Sakura?
Sorry, I
Right? Like
wasn't listening through.
you basically started with this, right? With
Yeah,
this
no,
argument, and then
Yeah.
you branched out into like more stuff from there.
Sakura actually started out from like, wait, is divinity even that bad? That's where Sakura started. I remember
No,
I
I
got
mean I
Sakura.
remember like
Dude,
he
I
really
remember I
started
was so
understanding these effects.
lost. Bro, I remember I was so lost whenever I came to Argentum, bro. I was like, because I remember I ran into Stratino and he's like, yeah, bro, like I've been here for like since the beginning, man. Like I'm the OG. And I was like, holy shit, I gotta like ask this guy a bunch of fucking questions. And then,
I
yeah,
answered them all. We went for a while,
dude, yeah. And then
but I was like, you should come over to where we are and we can talk about it.
yeah, because, yeah, I just asked about divinity and then he was like telling me like all this stuff and like what you did with the whole like I mean he basically gave your argument G, but like um
What was it? Oh, with the ethics stuff.
yeah, with like the no like it's not about ought nots and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
was just
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
like, wow, this is like all this is so new. Like I never thought about it like this.
Yeah, that is true. I think that was
Yeah,
what I was excited.
that's one of the things I'm most proud of. That sort of innovation.
Yeah, no, that was a great. Actually, you know what? I think that I had come to the innovation just around the time that you had come to it because I remember Zulu was talking about how he got it from Pro Heretics, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Pro
Yeah,
Heretics?"
he
Like,
got it
"Oh,
from
this
me. Yeah.
fucking you." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, Zulu got this from you." And I remember you and
Yeah.
I were talking about it, and this was way back during Zulu's video where you were talking about divinity. You were
Mm.
talking about how they all get it from divinity,
Hello, hello,
and oh yeah,
Oh, you
hello.
good, bro?
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I cut out. You were saying this was way back during Zulus, and then it got cut out
Yeah,
for
this
me.
is way back when Zulu made his responding to the critics video, and I reached out to you because I was like, "Wait, did we converge on this?" And you were like, "Yeah, they all get this from Divinity." And I was like, because I was like, "Where does this steal the penny shit come from?" And then you started talking about like the black holing, and I was like, "Wait, I think I made a similar point because I remember earlier before that I had come to like a kind of a brand new integration when I was arguing with Shane about it, and he was talking about how we should steal the penny. I was like, you're operating off of a completely different standard that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with life, but you're calling it
Remember,
life.
like, what is life as a standard even a measure of? That was like a main question for me. I was like, what is life as a standard even a measure of? I was like, no, life is not. Life as a standard is not a measure of duration. It's a measure of coherence, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing, the whole project of objectivist ethics is about integration into the whole, right?
Impredicativity.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember when Stratino told me, it's like, yeah, by their logic, like the older you get, the less moral you get, and I was like,
Yeah,
holy
that's fucking
shit, like,
retarded.
yeah, what the fuck? That's stupid.
That's obviously not what life as a standard of value means, right?
like, yeah, it
I
kind of
think
ends up being like a little bit utilitarian.
Yeah, they just have a totally like just disintegrated under like conception of life, you know?
well,
Yeah.
so what I remember is my banger point. This was way back when this was happening because I was arguing with all the old steal the
We
penny
also need to
people
make a
who.
course on that. Honestly, my ethics stuff,
Yes. Yes.
No, I fucking agree. I because this was the shit that
moral
we agreed
reasoning.
on.
That's what I called it. I put it all under the label of moral reasoning.
Mhm.
I like that label.
I do. It's something. It's like almost like a methodology to ethics.
Yes, yes.
If you do make that, I
Because
want
I
you
came to
guys.
ethics. I came to ethics from already like being like already immersed in like epistemology for a while. I didn't even like I didn't start in ethics. I didn't start in the fiction. I went straight into epistemology. And then I saw this stuff going on. I was like, okay, ethics is not really my thing, right? But like what the fuck is going on here? Obviously like the epistemology, if I just apply the epistemology here, like this is just bullshit.
I I remember because what I was gonna say is that I remember before you and I converged on this. The original point that I made was this was back when I was arguing with like Heel Store and all the people who I don't know where they are anymore because they probably went crazy. I remember I had said, so you want to live longer. Your standard is that you just want to live longer. But the longer you live, the more closer you're getting to what you call death. And so there's a complete contradiction there. You want to live
The
longer,
longer,
but to live longer
yeah,
means to get closer to death.
Yeah, I
the
think that was your
longer
own
you
unique
live,
thing.
the less time you have to live. So
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
the
I
point?
think that was your own thing. Yeah, that was maybe your own thing. And then I
Yeah.
just went I went way deeper into it, like in a bunch of
Mhm.
different areas, you know?
Yeah, that's why I said you and I converged on it, and then we kind of allied on that. That was one of the first things we allied on. Um,
Yeah. I think you saw exactly what I was trying to do there, you
oh
know?
yeah, no, I did. I
So
was
yeah, I
super.
think that's another thing we definitely need to make a course on because like I mean it's just gonna get lost. It's just gonna get lost with all the new people coming in and just not understanding that
Well, I don't
whole
know, G.
that whole innovation that happened, and I have to keep pointing people back to it. You know what I mean?
I don't know, G. Because I mean, you said you wanted to make a like responding to a critic's video of your own, right? Like you wanted,
Did I?
yeah. When you were talking about me editing the review, so maybe we could like broaden the scope and just have it be like responding to the critics and like.
No, I think a course on moral reasoning would be best because I wanted to write a whole fucking book on moral reasoning. But like this would come way after my fucking project on a new objective, right?
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I think it would just like let's just make it a video course, the stuff on moral reasoning, so it doesn't get lost. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like the idea of making courses instead of like singular videos.
Yeah.
I would wanna create the whole course outright, but it gives the ability to kind of help
Well, definitely
partition out.
the topic of moral reasoning definitely I think it would fit a course really well.
It
You know?
would. It would.
Like
Like
all the
again,
stuff that I said about it, I basically structured out like a whole like book of it, like a whole course of it already,
because
like the way I structured out my arguments.
We can be providing the desperately needed courses that somebody has not been making.
Yeah, somebody has not been making. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we do need to do that. I mean, like, I don't know, we're kind of procrastinating on that. That fucking the moral reasoning stuff is super important because divinity and they're still in the background. They're just waiting to fucking like to just get any stray, you know, one person just wandering to the wayside, just like not they're not aware of these innovations, you know.
They almost got me, but then Stratino came in and he's like, "Yeah, bro, this is all bullshit."
Which is good that it's good that I found you in the orphanage, in the philosophical orphanage, because you know we needed you. You're a cameraman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, and
But
like
yeah,
also I feel like much more integrated than I was like at the beginning when I came in here. So like
yeah, no, dude, you had a
I've been feeling good.
crazy transformation. Like I remember you started incredibly like confused on so much stuff, and then immediately just kind of blasted off.
I mean, I don't
And I
know.
mean,
Like it just happens a lot in my life, I guess. And then like I don't know, I don't want to like sound like I'm like sucking my own dick, but it's like I
well,
just
yeah,
like
dude, don't toot your own horn because obviously this experience is going to need to catch up with you. You still got so much left to experience, but the principles, it's good that you have the principles to start with to experience the rest of this stuff, and you'll just only become more informed over time.
Yeah, I just keep imagining like what if I never fucking even I just decided like man, Discord's for lames. I'm not gonna be on Discord, dude. What the fuck?
I
Imagine if I
mean,
just said that.
yeah, but like
Like
bro, it's
I
like the
never
future. It is the future of like being the radical. It's where you can go to be a
but like
radical and really
imagine if I
spread
never
it.
said that. What would have happened? You
Yeah.
know?
But yeah, I was just
My
gonna say
God,
like I feel like I always do that is I always blast off really far high up into the clouds whenever I start something. And it's like Stratino, you probably get this. Have you ever heard of like the like when you start guitar, it's like
yeah.
your skill blasts off really high, but then you kind of reach like a plateau.
Yeah, no, because again, I played in a jazz fusion, like prog rock band for a couple of years, and I remember, dude, I was coming up with so many ideas. We made like 9 albums.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, bro. That's what we need to do, bro. That's what we need to do here, bro. We're gonna start making courses like on the rationalism thing, like the whole thing, like what the whole strategy of the rationalists. Like we're gonna really like break it down, like their whole strategy, what the rationalist does. Like we have this whole new like clear understanding of what the rationalist is doing, right?
Mhm.
And why, right? And how to combat it, right? And how to understand it, right? And how to identify it, right? We have this whole new understanding using these concepts like Rosen's logic of complexity, like all the concepts there, you know. And like and even thermodynamics. Thermodynamics served as a huge integration of Rosen's stuff. Like without the thermodynamic stuff, I could not have integrated Rosen's stuff as much as I have. You know,
yeah,
or generalized it. You know what I mean?
one of the things that we actually haven't touched on, I realize that's would be super important to touch on with rationalism is the problem of truism.
Yeah. That'll be somewhat important, right?
Mm.
I mean, yeah, maybe
It
when you're
could
trying to lay out the process in the video, just kind of like keep it in
it
mind.
could be it could be
Remind the
like a whole
viewer.
it could be a video of its own, you know, the problem of truism.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it would be like a video of its own. And I think that what's great about the problem of truism is that you also get to very clearly participate in your own definition there. Like
Yeah.
you get to, you know, you get to, as someone who has accounted for the problem of truism,
It was
explain.
understanding the problem first and then trying to account for it, trying to figure out how to account for it is what just made me go like leaps and bounds, like in progress, like in my like writing and like stuff like that. You know?
Leaps and bounds in catering a movement, especially because
Yeah.
that's something that Zulu didn't touch on in his strategy video. That was pretty pivotal.
It's like what
I think.
Nat Brandon said, you know, I just like I wasn't indifferent to the question of what is required of me. What do I need to do here to achieve my goals here? You know?
Mhm.
What's the appropriate action? You know, I can't achieve my goals by just wishing, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. I was like looking at the problem of truism, and it was like, okay, what's required? What's required of me?
Mm-hmm. And I think the problem with truism was it's incredibly easy to account for when you've learned to account for it. Like you don't have to go out of your way so
Right.
often to be like, oh, am I being a truist here? No, it's just you catch yourself, you're not thinking, and then you're like, oh no, I just got to think about it, and then
It's like what G said
it
about
becomes
taking a
just this.
moment.
Yeah, it just becomes like a standard habit. Like you are just like, oh shit, let's
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
it.
Remember when I first told you about truism? Like, oh, I think I'm identifying something with the truist or whatever. Remember that? That was like a year or so, like year or more
Yeah,
before I ever called it the problem of truism. Before I ever identified the problem of truism.
we were talking
And like,
about Monhop, right? Because you had
no,
told me.
no, way before, way before. Look at where I said first, like pinged you about truism. Like
Yeah, no,
search in the chat. The
I was
first
saying
mention
that
of truist. The first
you
mention of
referred to
truist
it
in the chat.
again. Yeah, you referred to it again when we were talking about Monhop. Like you had said, you had explained it to me a long time ago. I think the funny thing,
Yeah.
like we converged on a lot because around that time, I don't think I ever responded because I was idle from Discord for so long. But no, I remember I was touching on that because I had to deal firsthand with the problem of
Yeah,
truism.
I was talking about how you can't get a hierarchy of knowledge from the book, right? That's what I was talking about. You can't adopt the hierarchy of knowledge from a book, right? You have to build it up on your own, you know? That's what I was
Uh-huh.
talking about. You remember that?
Yeah, because there was a severe problem of everybody trying to get their philosophy from Opar.
Hmm.
Um, they were like, "Oh, Opar will give me the fundamentals."
Right, and I just like already knew from going to epistemology first and what epistemology was saying about like the actual like work required of like integration, like the epistemic processes behind this stuff. Like it's not the book, the words are not the meaning, you know? Like you have to
Mhm.
actually do the work of integrating all this stuff, you know,
Mhm.
yourself, right? Nobody else can do it for you, right? I was already understanding that in epistemology, you know what I mean?
Peikoff even talks about that. Perhaps we can
Yeah.
even like provide a source quote of Peikoff talking about that and understanding objectivism, because I know he explains that only you can do the integration.
Mhm,
Like
yes.
all we can do is point to the facts, and it relies on your own honesty to.
Right. I take it further. I'm like, what's part of pointing to the facts is also directing the reader, the listener, back to what they are themselves doing, back to their, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we have to basically have this sort of self-reflective, like sort of special, uh, like self-reflective act to be able to like check our premises. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. That's what epistemology is all about. Epistemology, you know, that's what it's all about. Is like, the validation of knowledge. Like, how do we like, like the whole method, right? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
do we're basically it's introspective, but not in a narrow sense, right? We're noticing what we're doing, how we're thinking, and we're understanding, right, the process, right, and how we're doing it, you know, and like, and then we could see where we're going wrong, you know, with the errors, where the errors are, if there are any, right, how we can check for errors, how we can integrate. That's what integration is all about. Is about like it's this kind of like process, you know.
Yes. And holy shit, I keep thinking, why doesn't Luca talk around here? Because
Luke,
Who's
has
Luca?
Luca
Oh,
Luca
Luca
Brasi.
Brasi.
oh
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Luca
Yeah,
has like mm,
go on.
Luca has like an insane repertoire of lectures and articles about epistemology. Like Luca has like bought all the fucking Binswanger lectures and all the Peikoff
Oh no,
lectures.
he has that. He got that from me.
Oh,
Probably
did he?
the paid ones. Yeah, he probably got from me because like I remember when I was doing like lecture watches and the
Mhm.
ANO server. He was a part of a lot of those, and I was just like that was just
Oh, he
like at the
was,
beginning. I was
wasn't
being
it? Yeah.
yeah, I was like a radical about epistemology. I was just like getting everybody to watch these lectures and talking about these lectures and talking about objectivist epistemology like every day, you know?
Yeah, no, Luca had like an insane amount of information about epistemology, but I never see him like talk
Yeah, that
around
was
it.
because he was part of those lectures, those lecture watches that I
Mhm.
was doing, and he was he was one of the big one of the main ones in there. Like every time I would like I was doing it every day. Remember, I was doing it
Mhm.
every day.
No, I mean, like, I only ever see him in like the Zulu after party stuff. Like, I never really see him around except for there anymore, and it sucks because I'm not even able to join and like
Yeah,
talk to him.
I don't know what happened to him, but he comes around every now and then. And he's like, "Yo, G, what's
Well,
He's
up,
such a
bro?"
he's such a nice guy, bro. He's such a nice
Yeah,
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 yeah, no.
he's super cool with me because I think he really appreciates like what I did there in the ANO server and like having all those lecture watch parties and stuff.
Luca appreciates the integrations. That is, I think, what's so great about. Like, he just appreciates that people are trying their best to
Yeah.
innovate something.
Yeah, and he saw that I was like one of the first ones like doing that stuff, you know.
And I always, I think what's interesting to me about it is because like Luca and
But yeah,
I.
I paid for those bin swingers. Like I paid like over $100 for them. So
Mhm.
I don't think those I don't think he paid for them. I think he's sending the ones that I paid for.
Um, well, the reason I brought him up is because him and I talked a long time ago, and he said that he wanted to start an objectivist institute for science. And I was like, well, if he really wants to do that, then why doesn't he come over here? Because all we ever talk about is like,
Yeah.
science,
Mhm.
and objectivism.
Yeah.
I wanna,
But
I wanna ask him, like, because like he would really be interested in all that stuff, but.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not in like he's not participating in all these VCs like he used to participate in the lecture watch parties I used to do, you know?
Maybe it's
He should be
cool.
here. Yeah, maybe it's cool or whatever, but he should be here. But again, oh yeah, point him to the recordings that me and Sakura have been doing, you
Yeah.
know, so he can catch up, you know?
Yeah, let me. I'll ask him right now.
Oh yeah, right, you can figure out asking him later, bro. Like I wanna just get this understanding. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna start releasing stuff on the course for rationalism here. I don't know what to
Mhm.
call it, you know?
I spot a rationalist is fine for now.
Like that's like I think I can come up with a much better name.
Yeah, but I don't know what
But
else to call it for now.
yeah, yeah. You the whole thing is basically organized around the that whole thing, that argument, right?
Hmm.
That the transcendentalism. That's right. Attacking transcendentalism and like really understanding it, you know?
Hmm.
Sakura, you're echoing.
sorry.
But you get what I'm saying, right? We need to provide and attack a defeater of transcendentalism, right? The most
Hmm.
like this is the most solid defeater of transcendentalism. Like literally, Gibson. Gibson is the only one, bro. Gibson is the only one who actually like actually mounted a defense against transcendentalism. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The only one, bro. In the history of philosophy, in the history of thought, bro, Gibson is the one who mounted like who set out like to like this whole defense against transcendentalism, you know? He's the origin of this. You know,
Well, yeah, because he.
we owe Gibson we owe Gibson so much for this, for the defense against transcendentalism because Rand did not provide it to us. You know, the most she provided to us was to be is to be necessary, but we didn't even she didn't even clarify what necessity is here, right? It's as a close
Yeah.
loop of entailment. You see what fucking Zulu thinks necessity is, right? in the debate with the canteen, bro, he literally gave the necessary contingent view of what necessity is.
Oh yeah,
Dude, yeah, it's
because
so
it's like
funny
context
because
independent.
yeah, because I was arguing with a guy last night about necessity, and he was saying like, oh yeah, it's like about like it implying contradiction or whatever, and I was just like,
You know?
man, that's crazy. That's exactly what Zulu said. Like, that's
Yeah.
bad. That's really bad.
Oh
But
boy.
you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Rand didn't provide us with the defense against transcendentalism, bro. Right? And that's what's really needed, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if we want to talk about like like if we want to find some good like source about transcendentalism, where we can introduce Gibson, Lombardo's book has some mentions about it. Um, because I remember like he talks about it very
It's like
early on.
transcendentalism, it comes under so many different guises that are not explicitly like labeled transcendentalism. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But like Lombardo talks about in like the physics and optics of vision, how like Plato, he was attempting to explain the world of perception in terms of like a transcendent eternal
Yeah.
sort of view.
Yes. He also says this in his newest book.
He has a newer book.
Yeah, he was just like it's on his website or whatever, like the
Oh.
chapters, like it's like draft versions of it, right?
Mm.
But he also says that in his newest book. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that he was still kicking.
yeah, he has a YouTube channel too. He has all
Oh,
this stuff
cool.
on like his whole thing is like the future evolution of consciousness. You know, he's like he's like one of those guys. You know,
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Are you guys
but
talking about Plato?
he's very grounded about it. You know,
Oh.
he's just like into like science fiction stuff. You know, like science fiction writer. But he's like talking about the history of science fiction and like he's very grounded. You know.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Like on the surface of
I
it, like
thought
oh, evolution of future consciousness, you know, like it looks weird, but like the way he talks about it, he barely talks about like it like that, you know. He talks about it just like very grounded, like a historian, you know,
Mhm.
I
like
thought he was
like he
talking about
is
Plato.
like his history book. He just does a lot of history, you know.
Mhm. And I mean Lombardo also talks about how Aristotle he talks about like telos and how it's revealed within, you know, the world of particulars. It's not like supernatural or transcendent. So he gives like that Plato, Aristotle grounding, and he talks about like, okay, well, like Plato is here. He's, you know, he's kind of starting or kicking off some of the transcendentalism. Aristotle avoids it, and that gives a great foundation, because then we can talk about Gibson and how Gibson continues you know, Aristotle's
Yeah,
avoidance
we have
of.
all these lines of Aristotelianism, but Gibson is the only one who actually mounted a defense against transcendentalism. Like Rand did not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Austrian economics did not, for sure.
Oh no, like they fell prey. I mean, even Rand fell prey to it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think it's quite intuitive,
Who's that?
and that's what makes it
That's
We.
sweet.
Oh, we.
so pleasant.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
it doesn't really require thinking.
Right.
Oh,
Like
what
I said,
explain this?
it
This new thing.
sounds very objective. Like they make it sound very objective, you know? But it's
Mhm.
far from it. It's an extremely subjective deal.
And you know
What
what's
explain this? This new thing.
you know what's
It,
crazy is that um a lot of the arguments I've heard against transcendentalism are really really bad,
right,
and
yeah.
they go like, oh well, it sounds good on paper. And what's really funny is that the transcendentalists will point back to the theory practice dichotomy. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, well, it's good on paper, but it also applies in practice. And they're like, you know, they're imposing the on paper into practice. That's kind of like their way of going about it, but it's so funny how a lot of the
it's just
arguments
another
against
way. It's just another way
We
of
need
reinforcing the dualism.
yes.
yeah.
It's all just adding up to that to set up the
But
infinite
you
redirection.
see, it's just like we keep circling back, like how ubiquitous transcendental arguments really are.
Mm-hmm. I
You
mean,
know what
you
I mean?
see it. Yeah, you see it in Leibniz, you see it in Plato, you see it in Darwin, you see it in Spinoza,
Mm-hmm.
Schopenhauer,
Everywhere.
Descartes,
You see it
Kant.
everywhere.
It's fascinating just how much you see it.
Right. And it really only comes to fruition with Gibson where he's like where he's basically combating the poverty of stimulus arguments. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. Necessary specificity is what changed everything, you know? It changed the whole field, right? The whole game. The whole debate,
Wow.
right?
Mm-hmm. And I remember like Lombardo at the very what is it? I'm pretty sure he talks about like in time and event perception. Lombardo talks about he brings Gibson into the picture, and this is what I really want to quote from Lombardo is about how Gibson essentially he he had an empiricism and realist approach where he attempts to
Mhm.
find like order embodied
Yeah.
in concrete natural
Oh
particulars
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of transcendence.
There's a great point for this. Here, hold up.
Mm.
Da-da-da. Do I need to turn on my computer to find it? Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, and like Lombardo talks about Gibson, even still, while he takes it from an empiricist approach, he's able to differentiate himself from how much of the other empiricist approach that were infected by transcendentalism. He's able to diverge from them and emphasize the primacy of difference
Right.
over units of absolute values like sensations, which is a super important point, and we really need to like
Right.
get that. So I should put that in here.
Yeah, transcendentalism, bro. That's the thing we need to focus on in this first course, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then like we'll probably even start working on the moral reasoning course while we're like once we start, I feel like it'll be like what you were saying about making music. I feel the same way about making music when I used to make music, bro.
Yeah, like it was really competent shit because you just blast off because you're like, oh, I got an idea, oh, I got an idea, oh, I got an idea, and you have like
Right.
a list of ideas, and then the albums just come in like that.
Yeah, but we just need to start, you know?
Uh-huh. And that's why I'm like taking this super seriously, taking a bunch of notes. I really, really want to get this off the ground.
Yeah, once we
And
start, like I mean, it'll be like more like a community thing. Like remember, like we talked about,
uh
it wouldn't just be like me working on it or you working on it, but people coming with their ideas, right?
mm-hmm.
And then like working together to bring them to fruition. You know?
Mm-hmm. Real movement.
Yes, yes. Uh, yes.
Alrighty. Um, I gotta, I gotta go do some other stuff now.
I'm trying to find this thing here. You're gonna love this. Hold on.
All right. After
Yes,
this, I gotta go do.
ecological psychology is a lawful science.
Hmm.
No, not this one. Not this one.
What the fuck?
Um, I'm trying to find it, bro. Yes,
I
yes.
have a question.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
I found.
Isn't transcendentalism just non-impredicativity?
Um,
It's it starts with like a poverty of the stimulus argument. Like it's an argument from impoverishment, and then it
Well,
goes.
think about it like how formalism, there needs to be like some unentailed source of its entailment outside of the formalism that can't be entailed, right? That it's transcendental to the formalism. That's what it is, transcendental to the formalism. That's the problem is when you elevate formalism to ontology.
So let's see.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put it in BC text. Yes, I love
Something.
this. I love this. I wanted to connect this also with the point about, like Rosen's point about biology, like giving us the more general laws of physics, right? The more general laws of nature than contemporary physics.
Mhm. Let's see.
See if you can find the figure where it says like the development of ecological geometry, like the
Mhm.
difference.
Oh
Trying
yeah,
to, you see it?
standard physics geometry used to understand perception action. Ecological physics and geometry used to develop perception action.
No. It's the other way around. You see, perception action. We taking these, like, remember like how in Lombardo's book, or like just like in general, the whole point is that Gibson's Gibson starts from successful perceiving acting, right?
Mhm.
The everyday success of perceiving and action, right? To develop an ecological physics and geometry. And you see in the figure there is the tensegrity thing that Turvey works on, right?
Mhm.
Right? And the optic flow.
Yes. Yes. Let's
And then
see.
the other way around, like the predominant approaches, right? You
Mhm.
take the extrinsic metrics, right? Those are used to understand perception action, but it's too impoverished in entailment, right? You have the problem of impoverished entailment that Turvey talks about, right? You see what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
I think that's also a very important point.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Gibson, like what you were saying about Gibson, the approach he was taking.
Yeah. Let me add this and then like to the sources. I'll even add the.
And it's really like, remember, we start here and looking at nature, no missing pieces. Gibson is just like, okay, I'm not gonna do the move to impoverishment. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna discover the laws. you know,
Mhm.
there's laws here. Let me discover them. You know,
God, he's the dog.
Let's see. Let me. Oh.
he's not evading. He's not disintegrating the facts. He's looking at the facts for what they are, and he's like, let me figure out the laws here.
Let me get this and I'm gonna put it in Google.
Right?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And I think that connects to what we were saying about how Gibson took a. That's basically, remember in the Lombardo book how he first came to his like ideas in the ecological approach when he was like looking at the evolution of the eye, right?
Oh yeah. Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's where
There's
he
a
was first like, I'm gonna look at the successful perceiving and acting, the everyday success of perceiving and acting. I'm gonna take that as the standard, right? To develop a physics and mathematics appropriate to those facts, to the facts of psychology, to account for them, right?
yeah, like Lombardo talked about, and how Gibson was going through like all of these failed approaches. He was like expired, all worthless.
Right.
But yeah,
Ah,
something else. I think I this is more like I want to investigate it to see how relevant it is, or to see how it might relate. But the because you were talking about like taking transcendentalism all the way up to the ontology. A lot of objectivists treat ontology as just like a branch of metaphysics and philosophy. Like
Yeah.
I know Leitz treats ontology as like part of the
No,
philosophy.
I think he's warmed up to the idea that it's,
Oh, as
well,
yeah. I remember.
It's specialized over the like it's become a specialized field in the last couple hundred years, you know.
Yeah, I
To
remember you said you were gonna tell me about that ontology and its new role that it plays, like its modern role.
Well, I mean, just search in Zulu server what I've said about it. How it's like, you know, logic is to epistemology, but ontology is to metaphysics. But it's really just like every single one of these fields, right? Every one of these specialized fields needed its own ontology, needed its own logic, right? It's like it spiraled back through philosophy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I
I,
remember like how
I said that in Zulu server. I explained it that way. How like it's interesting how like ontology and and logic became specialized through through we had to have a huge range of specialized fields. Right, first we
Mhm.
first had to do all the specialization, right, and then we spiraled back through philosophy to specialize ontology and logic for each of these specialized fields. You know,
Yeah,
have a
yes.
specialized ontology and logic for each of these fields.
I remember like praxeology was like this specialized ontology of like human action. It's like this scientific ontology qua human action, and then metaphysics essentially was the immune system for it. Like it informed human action as a science, like praxeology as a science.
I don't know if I
Um,
talked about praxeology there.
you didn't talk about praxeology, but I was more
You were
talking.
thinking about that when I said that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Um,
Yeah. But what were you saying about ontology? Why did you bring that up?
I brought it up because I wondered how relevant, like holding ontology as part of philosophy, could possibly be relevant. Again, I don't know if it is or not. It's just something that I was going to investigate as possibly relevant because you had
Yeah.
mentioned ontology.
Yeah, I mean scientific ontology. The
Mhm.
like Bunge's idea of like a scientific ontology is like pretty
Mhm.
important for like systems theory, right? You know,
Mhm.
his whole book is like a world of systems. He has two books, like a part one and a part two.
Mhm. I think that like the way that ontology and metaphysics relate to each other in the sense that like we get to spiral back is kind of
Well,
relevant.
it's about appropriate system description, right? When for whatever uh phenomena of interest we're trying to, you know, whatever phenomenon of interest, right? We need the appropriate system, right? That's commensurable with the behavior we're trying to explain. You know what I mean? That's what it's
Mhm.
all about. That's why we need all these specialized ontologies. It's just because we need to have some appropriate system description, right? For whatever behavior we're trying to explain. You know?
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand, and in fact, like, yeah, um, I think that the main thing I was thinking about first of all was like ontology as a part of, um,
It's
like
all about
ontology.
entailment.
Yeah, like ontology as a part of philosophy. Well, now it has nothing to inform. It has nothing in particular to
Yeah.
inform.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
like
ontology
great.
became ontology once it was really like it started already becoming specialized, you know?
Mhm.
Like before then, it was just part of metaphysics, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, but anyways, I have to get going. But I've got all these notes and all these sources written down, and
Yeah.
um,
Transcendentalism course or defense against transcendentalism. I don't know. I don't know what the title will be. But the point is we need to mount a defense against transcendentalism. I mean,
yeah,
like it's literally never been done in the history of philosophy. You know?
yeah.
Not to the extent that we've done it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the most rock solid defense against transcendentalism ever conceived of, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, all right. Um. Yeah, this was good.
All right, yeah. Let me know what else you think about that.
All right.
Focusing on the transcendentalism stuff.
Yeah, I'll write some more notes down if I think of anything. All right.
All right. Yep.
Yep.
What's up? It's just me and you guys.
What's up? Dude,
So what do you think, sir, bro?
that was a pretty good conversation. Bro, every single time you guys have a conversation, it's always just boom, boom,
Hmm.
boom, boom. You and
Yeah.
Stratino. It's like
Yeah. I
integration
think
after integration.
because he definitely understands where I'm coming from. You know?
Mm.
So it's easy to just like bounce off each other like that.